the Corona. I'm talking to the plug on the Motorola. I'm drinking on some cheese, no, not Coca-Cola. This is so much worse than Ebola. It started one day when I took a trip to China. I should have just went to North Carolina. I was just walking around the town, having a good time, till I checked my temperature and it was 105.
That's right. It's time for the Dog and Chicken Show.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our 15th edition of the COVID Chronicles, where we break down about twice a week now what is going on in the world of COVID and the fun we're all living in and quarantine, all that fun stuff. We have plenty on the plate for tonight. Holy crap, what turned from a slow news day to a holy shit day. Pretty excited about that, but we have some old stuff and things to wrap up with prior to that. So first things first, of course, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Hit the little share button now and the like buttons and all that good stuff. All right, I'm done with that. Those get really annoying, get really old. Let's introduce our panel tonight. Some familiar faces. Tony, welcome back to the show. How you doing, brother? Are you there, T? Maybe.
I am. Your feed just sounded a little choppy. I don't know. Maybe it's on my end.
Too many people on the internet today. It's a little scary times. It's choppy. Indeed. Phil, welcome.
Well, in these times of tumult and chaos and unsureness, it's times like these that bring you right here to the Dog and Chicken Show Extreme Edition. I am your king of extreme, Phil KOE, joined here by this cast of veritable ne'er-do-wells and broadcast partners as we chronicle these interesting times in our lives. We don't know where it's all going, folks, but we're all here. Although we're separate, we're in it together. So, folks, welcome. Join us and come along for the ride and the experience.
Awesome. Appreciate it, sir. And we have Jeremy joining us tonight. How you doing, bud? And you want to introduce tonight's drinking game while we got you pulled up here?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Hope everyone's having safe, good, fun times right now. Today's drinking games are China, Lab, and the Stimulus. So be interesting.
That juicy COVID bucks came in. Loving it. Awesome.
I still have to check on that.
I got mine. Tony,
I didn't
you
look.
got yours, didn't you?
Yeah, I got mine today, this morning, actually.
Good. Phil, did you get your COVID bucks? You get
Drink.
your stimulus?
Not as of yet. And what is everybody drinking this evening? If I could have the floor for a moment, gentlemen. What I'm drinking this evening, chicken, you can rejoice. I am not making a cocktail this evening.
Yay.
But I am having my personal favorite red wine, the unsung hero of red wines, Schlinkhaus Dornfelder. A lot of people don't like Dornfelder in the wine world. I love it. So it's a good German grape. This one comes from the Rhine valleys of Germany. And considering how hard it is for our German brothers and sisters over there, I raise a glass to hopefully help y'all too.
Awesome. I'm still priming up with my usual just whiskey and diet. I did go buy another bottle of that Dalmore that I finished off a couple episodes prior. That stuff's pretty good. They still don't have my Jura. I was mad. I went in today. They still didn't have any Jura. Tell us, folks, listening in the chats. What are you guys drinking tonight? Meanwhile, Jeremy, what do you got tonight?
Tonight I got the Bamboo, the Caribbean rum again.
You like that stuff, don't you?
It's good. It's good. I had a little too much of the black Saturday, so I'm going back to the original.
Nice. Tony, what do you got?
I am going with a personal favorite, Bushmill Red Bush.
A little Red Bush. Shout out
Absolutely.
to Gray Bush. I don't know why. Red Bush, Gray Bush, good enough.
Gray Bush.
Awesome. So Like I said, we got several several topics to get into tonight, and I know we had a couple of people asking some questions kind of offline over the last few days. One that came up was, what was the OPEC deal, and what like we saw it in the news, historic deal, and they like made this big deal about it, but I don't know. Not a whole lot of people read into that. Phil, what do you know about the OPEC deal and what's going on with oil prices? You look into that at all?
Honestly, I've been really more involved in the grain markets. I haven't really looked into. Honestly, I haven't looked into the commodities today. So you're gonna have to let us know what you want us to talk about on your own story here, sir.
Oh Jesus, I'm glad somebody read this shit. So everybody wants to think that there's something more nefarious going on with the deal made with OPEC. I learned way too much about oil and how the industry works, or at least the pricing works. There's a first, you got to break down. You got to understand what OPEC is. This is boring, so I'll like try to just break it down as simple as I can. Pretty much, it's a group of international partnerships of nations that are the large importer or exporters of oil. They take up like 43% of the exports of oil. They have to communicate with each other, right? So they dictate the price and don't really go by supply and demand. They kind of like make up a fake demand to inflate prices sometimes to make sure everybody's making money. Now, a barrel of oil at $50 is kind of the standard of where you're making some pretty good money on it. Well, they're under $30, and after this deal, I guess what interested me the most with it was after they made this OPEC deal, the prices actually dropped again, and they kept going down by like 6% the first day. So the best way I can sum it up and try not to get into the geopolitics and all that shit, it's more you remember, say the four of us had to do a school project together. Now imagine you're Russia, okay? And you had to do a school project with Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and the US. Well, you're going to be using the US's, I don't know, let's say they're going to use all their tools. So the U.S. is like, I don't have to do shit. I get the same grade as you guys. I'm giving you my tools. Fuck off. So you guys have to do all the work and all the negotiating and figure out how to build this thing. And meanwhile, I get to share the credit with it. That's kind of one way they look at it. So what's happening right now is like Russia and Saudi Arabia aren't going to play ball. They agreed to this. They agreed to reduce their production. So there's an oversupply right now. So that's what's dropping the price. So they all have to agree to come down. Now, the U.S. is a free market. We don't belong to OPEC. We get to just, natural markets. We go by supply and demand and go, oh shit, nobody's buying it, so stop making it. That's pretty much, we've already reduced by like 10 million barrels a day. We asked those nations collectively to do the same. And they agreed to it, yet there is very little trust that this will go through. So what is a historic deal, and the Republicans are touting it, this is just awesome, and Trump's touting it. Hold the phone. We're far from this being over. There's more to come on oil prices. You notice gas prices are still going down. The oil price is still going down. Oh, yeah. This is going to go on through probably mid to late May.
Was it at 26 now?
Something like that.
Oil.
So Russia wants to join us in the thought of being a free market. They don't want to be involved with OPEC. Unfortunately, they are, and they got to. In the time of COVID, like, you can't bail on OPEC right now. They've talked about wanting to do that for a while. They just can't right now. Obviously, they would fuck themselves over before it would help them. So I admire what they want to do, but it's not going to happen.
So what you're telling me is this OPEC deal, they've come to the conclusion, the OPEC nations have, all right, we have a massive destruction of demand. So the best thing to do right now in the face of a deflationary depression is to also meet it with a massive destruction of supply. Is that it? Am I getting the basic?
That's what. Yeah, because they want to control the price, because everybody's losing money right now. The U.S. is losing money, and we put pressure on them. So it's partially our fault, but either way, nobody's going to play ball, because they want our economy to struggle with the oil prices a little bit. So I don't see Russia playing ball.
Right. Okay, normally I keep a level head, but boy, that's one worthy of panic. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh God, you stop paying attention to the news for one day. Ah, God damn it. But I could see this one being pretty bad in the long term because yes, like I said, we're in the cusp of a deflationary depression, and I will keep hammering that home until from the mountaintops until everybody finally hears me. We're on the cusp of a deflationary fucking depression. Okay. And we have a destruction of real demand, and we're going to meet it with a destruction of supply.
Yep.
Oh boy. Strap in, fuck stick. It's going to be one hell of a ride.
Yes, it is. Beyond that, like I've been inundated with questions. Apparently I need to be the expert because South Dakota made national news all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Who would have fucking thought that? Who'd have thunk it? The latest one is our governor has been pretty I don't know what's the word, just kind of not falling to the knees of this Sioux Falls mayor.
Nonconformist.
Yeah, she's I don't know. They I got mixed feelings with her policies and how she's holding this whole thing. But I did appreciate she didn't do a state lockdown or force county lockdowns like Sioux. So what's happening is Sioux Falls has had this huge spike, and we're like a hot spot in the country right now. And the mayor's like, I asked the governor to shut this down and do this, quarantine, whatever you can call it, whatever you want to. He's pretty much wanting some draconian shit coming just to the two counties of Sioux Falls. But the governor wouldn't do it. And it's interesting because there's a lot of legislature and small politics involved, because 2 weeks ago they tried to pass a state law to where mayors and counties could have the governor's powers to shut shit down if they wanted, and it didn't pass. And so, yeah.
Sorry, it's like you're a mayor, you're not a governor. Like what the fuck?
Right.
How was that even a thing? What?
Yeah. So scary. It's scary stuff, but it didn't pass. So now you have the mayor asking the governor, because now he has to wait 5 days. He has to bring it into council. They have to talk about it. And then they all have to approve it. And then they have to vote on it. And then they can enact his draconian measures that he wants to bring in. But there's 5-day waiting period. So guess what happens in those 5 days? Panic buying. Good luck finding toilet paper up here, folks. Shit's starting all over now.
Oh, damn. And things are just starting to get back to normal around here. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
It does keep with something I've been saying, that society and civility is an aesthetic. It's like makeup. It's as fragile as an autumn leaf, and we're starting to see it. When the scarcity starts to hit, people become a panicky herd animal all over again. And yeah, even in little old South Dakota, the panic buys start just because two bureaucrats aren't getting along. That's great. And we lost Tony G.
Yeah, he's got to reload. He's pretty laggy. So
yeah, that
happens.
Yeah,
but yeah, so that's rather unfortunate. But boy, it is kind of. I hate to say I told you so, but I might have told you so. But boy,
I fucking told you so.
Yeah, like
Now, boy, I say.
like I've been saying, like throughout this whole thing, people have proven to be better than they've been given credit for. So far.
So far. It's like it's a great line from the movie Blood Diamond, and I'm just gonna repeat it right here because it's so perfect. I want to believe. Oops.
Humanity.
My bad. That was my bad.
I want to believe in the basic goodness of humanity, but it's my experience that teaches me otherwise. And so I'm kind of afraid of that. It's like I want to believe that we're going to be good in this, but boy, we are about 3 or 4 more big dominoes getting knocked over from things getting interesting. So even if it does turn around from here, and we all be like, "Huh, yeah, shit, you remember that the whole coronavirus thing?" We're all gonna have to kind of like shit, that one almost got pretty bad.
Yeah, that one. We just shut down our entire government.
Yeah. Now, kids, gather round and let me tell you about the time we just shut shit down. Well, welcome back, T. Hey,
Let's try this again.
Yeah, much better picture.
you motherfucker.
Okay.
So Phil, along with that, we're having the talk of shit getting bad and shit getting real. You've been seeing the Michigan protests. I think I sent you guys a link to that. It was live when I sent it to you. I don't know if you guys watched any of it.
Oh, depending on what time it was. I was into an hour video, and my wife was like waiting to watch a show, and I'm sitting here on my phone just going through this hour video of just about the virus, and she's like, "Really?" It's like, "I'm sorry."
I'm sorry. I've been saying sorry a lot lately.
I am very much yeah. I'm very much of two minds about this. Like I'm not sure which, because there is the idea of, hey, if we don't like what our government's doing, we should be allowed to protest it, and we have the ability to redress grievances with our government.
Protesting's not an essential function of society right now.
Isn't that the whole situation?
That's why I'm saying I'm of two minds about this. But at the same time, if you gather in a big group, you're helping spread the virus, dummy. And so that's like over here, like you have the right to assemble and dress viral infection, dummy. I'm kind of, do you see my of two minds conflict?
Who would have thought that capitalism and democracy could be destroyed by a virus?
Well,
Capitalism, democracy, statism, some family units. I mean, shit, man, this one virus is gonna restructure society for the next 200 years. And we were here to see it, and that's why we're chronicling it. Adult Warning 12.
So let me ask you guys, have you seen, like, you're talking about the government, doing this or that, and everybody's either backing them or shitting all over them every chance they get. How many posts are you seeing on social media where everybody's freaking out about the conspiracy of they're trying to push an agenda, this or that, or they're trying to fuck us over, or they're trying to control us? How many are you seeing those every day?
That's every fucking post.
Yes. I was about to say, how many posts have you seen? My reply was going to be yes. That's how many.
Yeah. That's the point.
Got their own conspiracy for this. It's beautiful. I mean, as a guy that loves to study conspiracy theories as a mimetic study, like I never give them credence. They're just a study in mimetics, how ideas spread. This is beautiful. Like, people are just popping off random shit left and right. None of it's all tied together with this one virus, and that's it. It's like a great creepypasta or something.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody's posting this stuff, and somebody comes up with an idea, and then it gets copied and pasted, or it gets shared. So all of this ideal is about the government's fucking us over. Well, let me rip that Band-Aid off right now. Of course, the government is absolutely taking advantage of the situation. Of you, of all of us. Look at the stimulus check, Drink.
You
son of a
bitch. I wasn't ready.
They put a bunch of crap in there that only they care about right now, and that we're all going to end up paying for while paying this loan back, because that's what it is. It's a loan. So, of course, they're using this as a form of control. It's what the government does. But here's the thing that nobody wants to admit. Deep down, we fucking like it, because all these people saying they would fight back if the government tried taking their guns, complete and utter bullshit. Bullshit. Let's pretend for a second that there was actually enough people that they actually did stand up to oppression, and we entered some sort of second civil war for 5 or 6 years. Then what? Society's done. Comfortability's gone. It's basically The Walking Dead without the zombies at that point. And I don't think that many fucking people want to push plows and live like the Amish. This country wouldn't survive going back to the wild, wild west. And I think 99.5 times out of 100, the people who crow the most about pushing back if the U.S. government's going to take, they're going to take the blue pill. They're going to take the blue pill and wake up in their bed, and they're going to order some Uber Eats and pop on Tiger King onto Netflix while wearing their pajama pants, and they're going to tweet from their smartphone about how shitty the government is while they scarf down their low mane, pretend they have it so bad. Because people like their freedom, they like to complain, but they don't want to have the freedom to be too free, because people like their cushy lifestyles while having the freedom to pretend that they want something else.
You know what song
like
comes to mind when you say all that? Freedom isn't free. It's a hefty fucking free.
Actually, I have a different song that comes to mind. It's one of my favorite songs from NoFX. And the lyrics go, "The sad truth is you'd rather follow the school into the net, because swimming alone at sea is not the kind of freedom that you actually want."
Exactly.
And that's exactly what Tony's kind of touching on here. Is there, like I've often said, so long as there is beer in the fridge, football on the television, and when you push a button, your shit flushes away and you don't have to think about it anymore. So long as those three things stay constant, you will never, under any circumstance, have a rising up in the streets. Doesn't matter how bad the government gets otherwise. If you can keep those three things constant, you won't have a rising. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, it is. It's that simple. Nobody wants to live like the fucking Amish.
Yeah, this motherfucker. Like that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think he's talking about my singing skills, of course, Phil. Come on.
How could I have been so, so wrong? But welcome to the show, Travis.
I guess we'll move on down the list here. So the reason South Dakota is such a hot spot, it all comes from a meat packing plant, a Smithfield plant, who's owned by China. Drink.
Pointing it at you, chicken, South Dakota.
Yeah, Sodak. Anyway, employs 3,700 people in the city, and this massive outbreak, and every so even my employer, we've had some positive tests come in, and almost every one of them seem to be linked one way or another back to the Smithfield plant. So when you take away all of the 1,000 plus that we have up here, I think it was like 60% or something. I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's a huge chunk come from just that Smithfield meat packing plant. So they shut it down indefinitely, but I know Trump had the ag guy on today and was like, "Hey, our food supply is fine. It's a demand issue. We have the supply. We just got to get it there." I don't know. So we lost one in South Dakota. We lost one in Colorado. I've heard rumors of up to 10 major packing plants. I haven't confirmed that, but I know of 2 or 3 for sure that are shut down indefinitely, or at least for the next couple weeks. So I don't know, maybe just a meat package or meat shortage of certain cuts or something. I don't know. But that's kind of scary. Some of the largest ones are getting.
Yeah, we might. God, this is terrible. Like, stock up on meat. If you have room in your freezer or your fridge, stock up on meat-based protein, because I don't like saying this because it is kind of fear-mongering, but if you look at how the breakdown is of the supply chain for meat, there might actually come points in the next 6 months where you will have difficulty getting your hands on just plain old meat. Not necessarily, like even Trump said, not necessarily because of a supply issue, but a distribution issue. The cow can stay on the hoof for a little longer if he's got to. She's got to. The hog can stay a little longer on the hoof if she's got to. They can wait to slaughter it. But it's a matter of being able to move it from to and fro. So hopefully that all gets worked out well, and we don't have a modern day 7 samurai on our hands.
So our mayor in Sioux Falls and our governor go live on Facebook like every day and give updates on shit. And I saw one guy in the comments of the mayor when he was talking about Smithfield packing plant, and he's like, "Well, I'm a hog farmer. I'm about to let them all loose because they're fucking worthless now." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit."
Yeah.
You're gonna be wild boars now.
I'd say there's gonna be some good hunting game going on in your area
Right.
then soon.
Phil, keep your hands off my meat.
No,
You need to
That'd
worry
be
about
rather
it.
stimulating.
I don't think any.
Awesome. Okay. So the meat packing plant, that's a scary one. So there's like local conspiracy theories now because it is owned by China. Drink. Yeah, you fucker.
how to bring it back?
There's local conspiracies right now of there were several workers from that region that were working there until all the travel bans came up, and then all of a sudden they took off and went home, and so yeah, I don't know. There's you get some of the crazy folks around here like they planted the coronavirus in the plant. They were trying to wipe us out. I'm like, yeah, because they're all trying to kill us in South Dakota. Jesus Christ, you fucking loony.
Yeah, that's where I'd start. I'd start in the fucking Dakotas if I wanted to wipe out the entire country. I know that's where I would plant my flag.
Yeah.
Alex Jones, the Alex Jones of the world, like, please do not make me seem like a voice of reason in all of this. So yeah, that's
Yeah, for sure.
that's not happening.
So that's Smithfield plant. That's most of what we got on that. I'm sure we can circle back if anybody's got questions on it.
I know, but since the coronavirus, I ended up getting a meat lock or a meat freezer. Got my own freezer for meat. I was sitting there, I was telling her, I was like, all right, we just need to stock up on meat. That's all I care about right now. I was like, that can last.
Mine's
got
full.
meat on
I need
mine.
a new one.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go get me one here in the next few days myself. And,
Maybe that's what I'll spend my stimulus on. Drink.
Damn it.
I ended up getting one for a good, decent medium or small, medium sized one, enough to last quite a bit. And it was $200 at Menards, but that was before the whole virus was a huge thing, and I felt safe going in there and grabbing something and dipping out.
Yeah. We ready to move on to the quinine guy?
Hang on a second. I did have some notes here. I was trying to find some comparisons about coronavirus to some of the other pandemic-ish situations we've seen, because that's what everybody's concerned about, is why is it so hectic this time? Why is this time so much crazier from the news and from us having to respond and a quarantine situation? Why is it so much different? And honestly, there's not a lot of great comparisons you can make. The one I compared it to that I had the most success on was comparing it to the H1N1, the swine flu. The big differences here, though, was COVID's more of a pneumonia-based type sickness, whereas H1N1 was an influenza-based sickness. What you're seeing in like the H1N1, you would see symptoms start showing 1 to 4 days in patients. On COVID, it's up to 2 weeks. Now, if you think about that, your infection rate is going to be so much different from under a week to up to 2 weeks, because a person infected who takes up to 2 weeks to show could go and infect that many more people than someone who's infected 1 to 4 days showing symptoms would be. So, and this is living on the surface for up to 3 days of like your cardboards and plastics and of the like. So that's a big problem too. So again, all you people wearing gloves, take that into consideration as well. But the big thing I noticed was why is this so much different was because the spread rate now this is the R0 scale. So do a little research on that if you need to, but 1.46 was the H1N1. COVID-19 is a 2.25. The difference here is pretty dramatic when you compare it to other strains. And 80% of the deaths of the H1N1 were actually under 65 years old, because people 65 and over had built up an immunity because of other things that they'd been exposed to in their life.
Polio.
Exactly. COVID-19 is what they call a novel virus because there's never been any human cases up until this point. So it's a completely new entity. That's why there's so much hysteria about this, because we don't know what we're dealing with. We've never had something comparable. Now, the infected, let's see, the predicted fatality rate of the H1N1 ended up over like the first year, I think it ended up being like 0.02%. Whereas this at the end of March was already at a 0.04%. And if the rate keeps going the way that it is, you could be looking at 0.25 up to a 3% if something doesn't get curbed or something doesn't come along to stop that. Now, that's the comparison, because people want to know why this is different, because we don't have a planned out way to respond to this. We didn't have one going in. We were unprepared for it on a worldwide scale. So you can sit there and you can say, well, we've experienced things like this before. We haven't, because just because it's a pandemic and just because it's a worldwide thing, and just because it's a sickness doesn't mean that it's comparable to something that we've already dealt with. Something new that sprouts up out of nowhere, you can't just deal with that overnight. That's why this is taking time. People need to understand that and be patient with it.
No, I don't disagree. And we'll bring it up later as one of our later topics. We'll dive deeper into some of that, as far as some of maybe who's to blame and how this virus came to be. We'll jump back more into that. But to your point of how people are reacting to it, yeah, people are afraid of what they don't understand.
Exactly.
It's the simplest thought process most of us can remember from a movie, right? It's true though.
It is.
It's absolutely true, and everybody who's, I don't know, I've seen so many people like, should I stay home from work or not? Should I? Like, they won't make a fucking decision. They want to work, but then they're like, fuck, I don't know. Like, I don't want to die. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much uncertainty around all of it. Yeah, there's just so much uncertainty, and that's why we're doing these COVID Chronicles. This is really fascinating to see. When we all sit down here and have a few drinks and we go, well, this is what I seen on the news, and we can all go, yeah, well, that was bullshit, and we all know it was. But it's scaring the fuck out of half the population right now to where they want to go home. Like, oh, fuck, man. Let's see here. We do got Marty, Tony. The fact is, the temperature of the population is frustrating. Timeline: May 1st, May 31st, and so on. There was not a broadcasted timeline. There would be nothing to be patient or to or challenge. I do agree with that. The timeline is the scariest part, because fuck, I don't think the government really had a timeline for a while. No. I think they're just throwing shit at a wall and seeing.
Everybody's timeline is different. That's the problem. Everybody's throwing out different numbers. Everybody's putting out different expectations and predictions on when certain areas are going to peak, and even those are all coming up completely fucking wrong. So the timeline sucks no matter what channel you turn on, no matter what part of the world or the country you're in. So the timeline scares the hell out of people because they don't know who they can trust concerning the timeline.
And that leads to what Brett's talking about. Tobacco is getting tough to get around here. Tried to get some today. I was told they hope to have more tomorrow, but they aren't sure if they'll be able to get any chewing tobacco, that is. Yeah.
Good time to quit.
It is a good time to quit, but I've also seen people buying logs and cartons of cigarettes by like just as much as they can, because I'm buying booze. Like, there's enough booze to get me by for a while, so I'm stopping.
Let's say I'd rather care about fucking drinking than having any tobacco.
I'm just a amateur alcoholic, so it's.
Hey, chicken. In enough time, enough training, we'll get you up to professional in no time. Don't sell yourself short.
Oh, I don't know if I could chug a whole bottle of what was that guy was drinking?
Basil Hayden.
Oh yeah, Basil Hayden.
Jeremy, I think you sent that
Okay,
to
that's
me.
not professional. That's seasoned, gristled old veteran that's
Oh my god.
drinking. Okay,
No,
we don't
he
need
chugged the whole bottle and then did a drop shot of Blanton's into a beer.
Yep.
Fuck.
Dark beer.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy. I'll try to find it. If I can find it, we'll play it on here.
bourbon.
Yeah,
Blanton's.
that would be a good one to show.
Yeah,
because that was
impressive. 38 rolls of shit paper. that enough? Dude, I better not have shown that. People, if anybody knows Jeff, they're going to be fucking coming to his house now.
Like, hey,
got
Jeff,
shit
remember
tickets.
that time I picked up the
Jeff,
dog shit in my yard?
Yeah, Jeff, that depends on how many visits to Taco Bell you guys make. It's up or down. It's hard to say.
Taco Bell, you don't even need a wipe.
Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
I was about to say 0 trips to Taco Bell because of Corona. But yeah, last time I went to Walmart, they had a big 18-roll pack of shit tickets. I wasn't even there for that. I was just there for eggs, bread, milk, basics. Like I was joking with some buddies of mine. It's like, stimulus check? You mean new gun? And yes, we all have to drink.
Yep, new guns, new TVs, new computers,
Another one.
New podcast software and hardware.
I need to upgrade my fucking internet connection. My God.
It is comical to me. Well, maybe not comical. I find it fun. More and more people are like, "Hey, I want to jump on the podcast with you." I'm like, "Hell yeah! Here's what you need to buy. Everybody got a COVID check. Go get it, man. Let's jump on here."
Yeah, like me, I need to get an actual webcam.
Yeah, you do.
It's either that or it's the lighting in here. I don't know. Is it just on the choppy side or does it seem like a dull side?
No, the illumination off your glasses lights the room up really well.
Yeah,
better.
Chicken,
I need to stop pulled down. I catch myself doing that. It's like, damn.
Nice. Go ahead, Phil.
I can't tell you how thrilled I am every time you tell us, "Hey, I got some buddy of mine I'm gonna invite on." All right, sweet. And he's coming on his cell phone. Great! Now we get to see him Game Boy.
Let's
Marty.
see. We got why pay rent? They can't evict right now.
Yes, they can.
They can arrest you for going outside.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they can do whatever the fuck they want right now.
They can fucking evict
they
I
can't
wouldn't
anybody.
bet on anything
But
today.
don't go outside, because if you go outside, I think they get you. I don't know how this exactly works. No taxis are like, don't take your hand off the car. I don't know exactly how this works. But I think as long as you're in there, you're fucking good. Don't construe this as legal advice. But I think, I don't know.
That's why I did
Yeah.
be a landlord.
Exactly.
As long as I keep peeing in that corner, they can't evict me. That's how tough
I don't know which
Poor
statute
closet.
that is. I think it's there somewhere.
Ooh, Marty has a great comment there. Pop that up. Marty, you need to check out the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. We actually did a 6-scotch line that includes Lagavulin. I think you would enjoy that. Chicken was a part of that
we
as
actually
well. Check it out
started
there.
with Lagavulin 16, and
Yes.
good scotch, very different than my expectations. I will say that. But yes, check us out on the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast for our review of Lagavulin 16.
Indeed. It's good stuff.
Indeed. Let's see. Need a court order. Courts are closed. Still want to go with this argument.
Yeah.
Judges can still
It'll
sign.
drag on. It'll drag on.
Here's what happens. You ever seen Judge Dredd? Here's what happens when courthouses are closed. The police become the fucking judges. All right, that's where we're heading.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Judges are still alive when the courthouse is closed. Like, they can still do stuff.
Yeah.
I just always wanted some Supreme Court justice whenever they finally got onto the court for their first case, them just sit down, look back and forth, and go, "I am the law." But no.
Yeah.
Say, "Fuck it, just go for it. Nobody's gonna give a shit now." Like that's gonna be the most controversial thing about me? No, not even by a mile.
Oh shit! All right, let's move on to the quinine guy.
Yes.
So everybody's the quinine guy. Everybody's seen the dude, and like I had like five separate people send me the video that was linked through like 5 other people. So you didn't even know who the guy really was. And I like actually had to backtrack and find out, is this a real guy? Like, what the hell's the deal? He's a chiropractor. So already I'm like, snake oil salesman right here. Not a real doctor.
I need one of those.
Yeah. But then
I'm
come to
dying
find
for a
out,
visit to the chiropractor myself,
Mhm.
honestly.
I come to find out, like he's like a nutritionalist, kind of supplement salesman. It's I don't right away. I told Tony, I was like, this is fucking bullshit. But Tony did a little bit more digging in here, so we're gonna get into the quinine guy here. I'm gonna if you don't know what we're talking about, I'll play a short clip. It will jog your memory real quick because it's
Right now, I'm telling you right now, the answer is quinine. I want everybody listening right now to go do this. I want every one of you to go today, see if you can buy some quinine. If not, go get some Schweppes tonic water. Tonic water has a ton of quinine in it. Now, I'm not your doctor. This is not medical advice. This is a suggestion. I mean, I guess that's my disclaimer.
That's my disclaimer.
That's one way of putting it.
One way of putting it. So I immediately, the first thing I did was look up quinine. And most of what he talks about on there is true. It did get banned in the 90s by Clinton, and it is used as a malaria drug. But what was it? You would have to drink 20 liters of Schweppes vodka a day.
Every 8 hours.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Tonic water, not vodka. Jesus.
Oh, shit. Well, whatever. But no, I thought I said Schweppes. Thanks for correcting me. I probably said that. But
I
no,
think you said Schweppes vodka. I might have misheard.
Well,
I don't know.
I heard
Maybe
him
you were
say,
just thinking vodka.
how much vodka do you have to drink? Jesus.
But
No.
anyway, like it's not sustainable to actually like to get anything like that. But Tony, you took this a step further and actually did more research on it than I did. So I'll let you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, something like the clip that you showed actually came from a bit of a video clip that a news reporter put together, and it just kind of the summary of that. He suggests you have 3 to 4 ounces a day of Schweppes tonic water and take 50 to 100 milligrams of zinc. 50 to 100 milligrams of zinc every day as a preventative. That's what he suggests. Now, as you mentioned, the amount of actual tonic water that you would have to take, like you said, 20 liters every 8 hours, that's not realistic. And the thing that people need to understand, like some people are also taking vitamin C, vitamin D, extra other supplements on top to kind of boost their metabolism up, their immune systems up during this as a preventative measure. And that's fine. But overdoing it with vitamins and supplements and minerals, that can be actually pretty bad for you if you take it too far. Like your body needs zinc, sure, but taking it
needs it
a little
naturally.
yeah, exactly. Those who are low on it should take it as a health measure. But the other thing you got to understand is this guy's causing people to go out and buy this shit up off the shelves. Now, people that actually need the shit, we're running the toilet paper situation all over again, where oh crap, now it's low. Now I can't find it at Walmart. Now I can't find it at Walgreens. Now I can't get it, and I actually need to take it. So that's kind of a shitty deal. And he said he never once makes the claim that any of these are preventatives or cures. And of course he doesn't, because that would probably get whatever license he has.
Big ass lawsuit.
Yeah. So I guess my counter on the other side of it is there's no data that says that this is a form of preventative measure or treatment. Well, of course there's not, because again, this is a new thing. We don't have any fucking data. This is really about 4 months old if you really want to look at it on a nation worldwide scale. So anything that anybody suggests right now, I would suggest fact checking it and doing a little bit of research before we go lighting up Facebook and Twitter with these people, because his message was on that video was share this video, go out today, they're probably going to take it down, save it, share it.
This
share it
is the answer. Yeah.
He said this is the answer. Well, it sounds good.
Answer to
It sounds
what?
great, but there's no data to suggest that actually does anything. There can't possibly be. So you got to do a little bit of research, and he wants you to share it because he has a brand to sell. His brand is himself, and he's trying to get some notoriety off of this. So unfortunately, it's one of those things that sounds good on paper. We want to believe in it, but there's every doctor that this news station asked said no. There's no way that this would work the way he's suggesting it would work.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
You sent me a bunch of charts and graphs here, T. I'll get them pulled up. Let Phil
let
chime
me
in
just
there.
say this. I mean, my God, didn't you see that the guy had a medical looking chart behind him in the back and he had
Yeah.
medical looking clothing on? My fucking God Almighty, it has to be true. There's no way you could get $15 worth of medical signage and $8 worth of medical scrubs and get a web camera and just say some nonsense into it. That's not possible at all. So to me, I'm a little.
Lavender.
You could, lavender. Marty was saying lavender. No, lavender straight up won't do it. Don't you know the lavender has to be put into essential oil? Don't you know? Shit, then don't stand a chance. Apparently, this chiropractor backs it up.
Flaming asshole diagram. That's what tonic does. Yes.
But yeah, and also drink
great.
water. Like, what kind of like? My grandma would give me flat 7-Up if I was really sick. Like that. That's the kind of cures that is that what we're down to? Like, make sure you get some Vicks rub and flat 7-Up. Like,
is it better than weed and ocean water?
Well, you can't drink ocean water, so I don't know.
Seaweed?
Amanda, pay your rent. That's all I gotta say right now. Sorry, Jesus.
Oh.
Anyway,
So
we should do a coughing drinking game again because I don't know why I'm coughing a lot tonight, but we're not. For those that joined in a little late, we do have drinking game free all tonight. Anytime we say the words listed there, we all collectively drink. So enjoy, have fun. I did switch over to the Dalmore if you didn't notice, so I'm straight up on Scotch now. So this is gonna get wild.
Yeah,
I've already gotten mouthy, so this will be fun.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, so,
Let me tell you something about it.
getting nasty.
that'll be here in about an hour. Yeah.
Excellent. About an hour, each one of us are going to find out things about us that we need to
Got the bird.
Yeah, I got the birds. That was probably well deserved. All right. So Tony, run me through some of these charts. So I got Corona death rate in Italy as of April 15th by age group.
yeah.
So what
So-
what are we talking here?
These were fucking impossible to find. Holy crap. I tried all day trying to find some. I was trying to find state by state, America compared to other countries. Nebraska and most of America, they're not keeping track of a lot of the specific details when it comes to people who've died from this or people who have recovered from this. But the one I found interesting because Italy's had so much notoriety, if you look at this one, 0 to 19 years, 10 to 19 years, 20 to 29 years, until you get to 50 to 59 years, you don't really see the numbers really increasing. So this kind of backs up what everybody was already assuming based off of what we were hearing initially, that this is affecting older people before it affects younger people. For some reason, this is not hard on the youth, especially the younger. But one of the things I did see was super young, like newborn stage. They are very susceptible. But then that toddler stage, they're pretty well not immune to it, but it doesn't affect them as hard. But then it obviously, the older and the higher age range you get, it does become more and more affected. That one's obviously pretty scary. But if you look at the next one, I believe I sent you was the New York City.
Yep, here's New York pulled up. So death rates for COVID-19 in New York City is April 8th by age group. Similar chart, just going vertical instead of horizontal.
Yeah, this one, New York is absolutely devastated if you look at the numbers. And I think I did save the state by state here on my phone. But yeah, if you look at that 75 years and older, holy shit, that's pretty telling as to why their numbers are so high. And even 65 to 74 years, it's insane to look at these numbers. But yeah, sobering statistics for sure on that. But let me pull that up. Actually, on the New York, I believe New York is still the highest by a lot, with 202,000 cases and 10,000 deaths. Under that, New Jersey had 68,000 and 2,800 deaths. Meanwhile, your sparsely, populated places are obviously going to be higher, but states like Kansas, we had 1,437 cases, 69 deaths. Nebraska was at 930, according to this, whenever this chart was taken, and 21. And Guam, surprisingly, 721 with 6 deaths. Wyoming was 282 with 1 death. Alaska, 283 with 7. So the numbers are kind of all over the place, but obviously New York is still right at the top of that. For whatever reason, their area just got affected. And obviously, New York's asses to elbows. And we showed a few weeks ago, like Las Vegas is a fucking ghost town. You got to assume that New York's still the opposite of that, even during lockdown, even during a shutdown, that it's so populated and so dependent on itself to function. People still have to be out and about, those essential workers. So I'm sure that the day-to-day interaction with people is still very, very high, which is why those numbers are so staggering.
Well, day-to-day interaction, and they live on top of each other, and it's fucking dirty. So
Let's say that, and it's a really high moisture count area there. I mean,
So Marty puts 60 million in Italy in population and around 2 million in Nebraska. We're 1/3 the total area. Comparing all of these are just probably incalculable because of living environments. No, good point. And then he goes on to say Houston has 7 million population. Look at that demographic. Yeah, there's a lot of scarcity right now, and maybe I'll swing this one over to Phil. We've been hearing it like crazy, and as much as I want to bash the media, this is a true statistic that I don't remember the exact number, but African American populations are severely more susceptible to dying from this. Now, what is that attributed to, do you think?
I would attribute it somewhat more to socioeconomic circumstances. If you look at, like I've said, if you're in a building where there's a shared air ventilator system and one person gets coronavirus in that building,
You might as well be on a cruise ship then.
Everybody, yes, or like in an airplane, everybody is more susceptible to it. And also, coronavirus does hit more obese people. It does seem to do that. And if you have a pre-existing condition like diabetes or something like that, those can all be factors that lead to corona really hitting you a lot harder.
Weak cell counts.
What's that?
Weak cells.
Oh, of course. I mean, but that's kind of with everybody. But you're asking why the African American population? I would point to more socioeconomic factors and the fact that African American populations tend to be in very high population density cities. And we are learning with this whole coronavirus. I said this last time. We are learning the diminishing returns of density, of high population density. There we go. But that was a way better answer than AOC had. It's time to bash on AOC. I got a new article. I'm a little offended. Of course it was going to be better. My God, I didn't know that was a test.
And as soon as I share this, Tony's gonna like pay attention to the girl in the bra on the right side. So I'm trying to zoom in the screen so you can't see her, but it is what it is at this point. Otherwise, you can't read the article. But AOC tells The View, inequality is a pre-existing condition as the coronavirus ravages African American communities, and says it's no surprise the vulnerable are being worst hit. How do you interpret that?
Well, I mean, if you look at it,
of population density. That's how I understood it.
How about the inequality is a pre-existing condition?
What does she even fucking mean by
Well,
that?
I mean, you got to look at it this way.
I gotta give the girl credit. It's a great buzzword. It's like I always say when it comes to persuasion, it's all talking and it persuades her own base very well. But to me, it's like it's one of those fluffy nothing language. It's one of those phrases that means nothing and everything at the same time. But again, if you're wanting to look for ways to persuade people, sometimes catchy buzz phrases that just kind of smash two already well-known concepts together. If you just smash them together, sometimes it gets people thinking.
Yeah, no, I could see that. What'd you have, Jeremy?
Well, I'd say it more falls into, I mean, African American race. When it comes down to that, they didn't, when they came to America, they were already, wealthy and stuff like that. It comes down to, money wise. I mean, there's more unemployment and more, low income when it comes to the African American race. And when it comes to that, they still got to go out there and work through all this. I mean, especially low income jobs. I mean, there's still jobs out there that are like, it's a virus. You still got to work. They got to provide for their family. So I think it more comes down to that for them to get it, because they still got to go out there and work.
God damn, we're all coughing on here.
I know. I'm surprised we didn't do the coughing.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. That'll be Saturday. I don't know if we'll go Saturday or Sunday night, but definitely it'll be a don't cough episode. Tony, what'd you have on the AOC topic there?
I think.
Or were you staring at the bra the whole time?
No, I was able to divert, but for a moment. I think statistics play a factor in that. And if you look at like a state like Nebraska or, South Dakota, in your smaller areas, it's a predominantly Caucasian populated area, right? So your cities like Houston, like we were talking about a minute ago, or New York, the African American population is going to be much, much higher. So in a place like New York, where they're just being, completely run rampant on by this, that's going to play into it. I think that's what's making the statistics look that way. So, if we ever get to a point where it's just every state's on an even playing field, which we're not going to get to that point, it doesn't look like, then maybe those numbers will go differently. But right now, it's purely statistics, I think. But the more we learn about this, the more research is done. You find out things. Does it affect white people or black people or Hispanic people differently? Does it affect men and women differently? And the age range thing, of course. We're finding out more and more information the longer this goes, unfortunately. That's good, though. We need to find out as much as we can to prevent stuff like this from happening in the future. But the data's not there yet. This is still in its infancy.
I think the parts that frustrate me with an article like that, and I've seen it too. We saw the Surgeon General using specific language that he uses at home with his family members, and then right away CNN reporters like, hey, what do you say to the people at home offended by what you just said? We're already doing this partisan race bait bullshit, and most people can see right through it. Yes, we know that there is a statistical problem that needs fixed. There is, whether you want to have the discussion about inequality or racism, we can have those conversations. But when you try to say that inequality or racism is a pre-existing condition, you are full of shit. And I don't even want to listen to anything. As soon as I read that, and I know why they made that headline. Phil knows exactly why they made that headline. It's clickbait for people like me to actually look at it, read it, get pissed off, and have a podcast and start bitching about it, I guess. I don't know. But no, it pissed me off. Because it insults my intelligence in a way. Because people really think that somebody's going to read that and go, oh my God, this is a pre-existing condition now? Fuck. Sorry, Phil, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wonder if you could. It would take a lot of statistic parsing out, and it's not one that I really have the time to parse out. But I wonder if you're going to track what the percentage of African Americans that live in high density populations versus the percentages that are getting the virus at a greater percentage, and wondering if those two percentages track together. Because whites, they live in high density populations. They also live in extremely low density populations. They're kind of all over the place in North America.
Oh.
So I wonder if African American populations, if you were to run the statistics to see, do a higher percentage live in high population density areas, and do those numbers track together? That would be my one, correlation doesn't always necessarily equal causation. So you always gotta look in the syntax and what's between the numbers.
Yeah, I think you guys all know how I feel about data, especially afterwards when you can't react to it. It's just telling a story. Now it's just you can make it into whatever you want to present your narrative. So if I get handed data and I can't do anything to fix the coronavirus, I don't give a fuck about it anymore. I'm like, now you're just trying to prove your point and create a narrative. So as much as everybody wants to study the data on this afterwards, I am completely unfucking interested. I don't show it to me now. What do you have right now that can go, oh, we can help people with this and we can fix this. But afterwards, I'm going to be out, because then it turns into a political shit show.
Yeah, it's like, show me the more cons on it than, the negative in it.
Oh, wow. Several friends in UK and the police are allowing a 1 hour outside of the home and monitoring on the streets. Their regulations are crazy.
More safe.
Sounds like they're in Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a crazy one. They, the police just in England just tweeted this, and I shit you not. You can find the tweet, and it's the "We're coming for you" tweet is what it's kind of known as.
Oh shit!
And they were saying, if you think that you're safe out in the middle of nowhere picnicking with your family, and then it's pictures of the police and their shadows coming up on like some little picnic area, you're wrong, and we're coming for you. It's like, what the fuck? Really? If you're out in the middle of the nowhere picnicking, who the fuck are you harming? First of all, but I'm sorry, to my, and I raise this glass in sympathy to my English brothers and sisters that have to suffer under whatever it is you call a government over there. I raise my glass to you, and the fact that you have to suffer through it. We all had our very concept of liberty came from English liberty, and it's been quite warped. I raise my glass.
So bad.
Raise my glass, and I'll say, at least you don't live in China. Drink.
That's double drink then.
Yeah. So
that's unfortunate, but yeah, they're over there. They're going kind of nuts, which is weird because they're the ones that want the herd immunity. Yeah. So I thought they wanted everybody to get it. So I don't get their thinking.
Here's one I saw on Daily Mail today. Protesters waving MAGA flags defy social distancing and swarm the steps of Michigan State Capitol to demand Governor Gretchen Whitmer end her strict stay-at-home orders because they restrict freedom and are against the Constitution. I sent this to you guys. We kind of brought it up earlier. Thoughts on this? Any deeper thoughts now that we've had a little time to have a couple of drinks in us and ponder a little bit? Maybe now we got a little braveness and liquor in us. Maybe we got a little bit more to say.
Not quite.
I guess my thing would be, is the Constitution for your own personal life more important than the people around you that you could potentially harm by pretending this isn't a fucking problem? I don't know. I get it. A lot of people want to say it's not as big a deal as this news station's making it out to be. They might be right. But for fuck's sake, there is a danger, and the Constitution doesn't trump that. Like it doesn't. I'm sorry. Yes, rights are nice. Rights are a great thing. It's great to live in this country and have those rights, but you still get sick. You still get sick.
You know, there's two great quotes that make the diametric opposites of American life, and Tony's very much voicing one of them. And then I'm just going to give you both of them. There's the one quote that Tony's voicing, which is from Abraham Lincoln. And what Tony's voicing is the Constitution is not a suicide pact. That's very much of what he's saying. Now, the other quote on the very opposite end of that spectrum is from one Benjamin Franklin. And we all know it. Those who would trade freedom for security deserve neither and will end up with losing both. So that's what you get. If you trade in your freedoms for a bit of security, you'll end up neither and you'll lose both. And then on the other end, what Tony's saying is that the Constitution is not a suicide pact. And so those are the two diametric opposites that make up American political philosophy. And this is the moment right here, and it's why I want to chronicle them so much. This is the moment where they finally crash heads, and this is the unstoppable force meets the immovable object from a political philosophy standpoint, and we're going to see who's standing when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and you know, I probably stand at odds with Tony on that, as I've not had anybody restrict my freedoms or tell me I can't do anything. Everything here so far has been suggestions. Sure, I have some people that I've seen people like chewing other people out for not wearing a mask. They haven't chewed me out. When I go to work, my job's asking me to. Well, hey, that's okay. My job said that this is what they want us to do. I'm getting paid to do it, so I'll fucking do it.
Yep.
But when I'm on my own time, I'm more, hey, like, it's not that I don't worry about other people or think that maybe I could be spreading it, but honestly, I'm staying away from you. I'm washing my hands, and I'm not coughing or sneezing, and I don't have a fever, and I don't feel like shit. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like, the mask is going to do what it's going to do, sure, but you're
smart
wearing one,
enough
so
to take your own precautions.
Well, the people that are worried
though.
about the spit flying through the air is already wearing a mask. So if I cough or sneeze without a mask, it doesn't fucking matter because you wear one anyway. So maybe it'll get in your eye. I don't know. I just, it's hard for me to buy into this like group think, freak out and make a big panic mode. Here's what happened to my a friend of mine that has taken it serious from day one. But probably really didn't, realize the gravity of it until yesterday. They had to start wearing masks at work. And then all of a sudden, everybody was like, oh, fuck, this is real. And they all fucking left. Maybe some normalcy and not, I'm not promoting don't wear a mask. I think this is an individual right. And unless you're being mandated to, then yeah, you pick your side of the fence and step over the line if you want to. But I just don't see the point in it. And if I get told I have to wear a mask if I leave my home, or that's going to be my question. Be like, what are you going to do about it? If they're going to give me a ticket, then I might purposely go get a ticket. I'm really not going to give a shit. I'm just really not going to give a shit at that point. I'd be like, give me a ticket. I'm not going to fucking pay it. It's not constitutional, and you can't give me that ticket. Arrest me. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Like I'm kind of gonna be that way. It won't get to that. I really don't think so. It'll happen in your bigger.
Yeah. Fighting it to the Supreme Court, motherfucker.
Yeah, because I'm a fucking douchebag.
Whatever.
Like I think my thoughts and values are more than everybody's. I don't know, because I'm pretentious.
Do you trust all the people that you would see on a daily basis to be as cautious as you? Raise your hand.
No, God, no.
No.
There you go.
No.
Do you trust anybody that you would go out and interact with? So go to one of these states that has a higher contract rate and a higher death rate. Go to one of these states that's on lockdown and tell me if they ended the lockdown and let everybody flood back out into the community, do you think that even after all this, they would still take the necessary precautions? Do you trust the general population to be safe?
No.
towards you and others. I don't. That's the problem here.
I went all the way to Iowa Monday, and I was in a 4-hour drive there and back, and using the bathroom, I mean, I held it in as long as I could. So when it got to certain like gas stations, or not even a gas station, it was more of a truck stop, I'd be like fucking kicking in the doors and shit, flushing the toilet with my shoe, like doing all that shit. I wouldn't even touch anything. People walk by me. I'm like, it's just sketchy enough that it's a damn truck stop. So you don't even want to touch half of the shit in there anyways.
So you were at Iowa on Monday?
Yeah.
Guys, Chicken, Tony,
Uh-oh.
do you want me to tell him, or do you want to tell him?
What? Go ahead.
Sorry there, cowboy. If you've been out of the state, you now have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks, man. I'm sorry, man. That's
Or what?
I don't know what the or what. There is nobody's tried to test the or what, because nobody wants to be that guy. This is the one time in history there's been nobody like, come on, Johnny Law, bring it, motherfucker. Come on, you're good shit. Save me, motherfucker. Arrest me. Nobody's wanted to be that guy. They don't know what memory hole they're gonna get thrown down into, so they don't want to fucking.
So
am I being that guy right now?
So here's the funny part about this whole if you went to another state, how far did you go into the state?
Okay, I went. It was,
how many miles would you say?
It was 100. No, fuck. It was more than that. I drove 4 hours. So it was past Sioux Falls. It was about an hour and a half past Sioux Falls.
So did it look any different than Nebraska?
I mean, besides less corn, but no.
It was flat. It was boring. Everybody was white, and everybody was driving pickup trucks.
Honestly, I figured because all I went up there, I just drove up there to go pick up a cedar, put it in the back of a truck, pay the guy, give him an envelope, stay my distance, give him an envelope, goes in the truck, he loads it, I drive it back. That's pretty much what I did. And honestly, I figured, I was like, this won't be so bad. 4-hour drive there, 4-hour drive back. Because interstate won't be so busy. So, I ain't going to freaking be worried about other people, just the traffic going through Omaha and Iowa.
My whole point with the question, though, is what does it matter? It's this imaginary fucking line. And it's like, do people in Iowa?
I thought about it.
Does everybody have cooties when you cross this imaginary line? Like, fuck off. This is so stupid.
Try that shit at the Mexican border, Chicken. See how far you get with that shit.
No, there's a fucking wall.
Dude, weak, bro. No, that's not how that works.
We hired a guy to put a wall up there. Fuck off. That's different. No.
Well, even when I talked to the guy I got the cedar from, sat there and talked to him. I was like, well, how's it around here? Is it wild and crazy? He's like, I was like, yeah, it's kind of how Nebraska is. It's just, about the whole thing. I mean, people are still going on doing their thing. They're just, doing it in a different way, just a little precautious about shit.
No, I get it. Yeah. And so Lennon mentioned he had pre-screening if he's in a 60-mile radius. I'm assuming that's for work. Maybe not. Maybe that's a county restriction. And Bernadette mentioned she had to quarantine, come back from South Dakota, and even Amanda self-quarantined after moving to take precautions. So and it's good.
So I get bashed on.
Well, no. So I think it's a good idea. When that's kind of what I like. I was bashing the governor up here earlier, but that's one of the things I like is she's like, hey, if we see these are recommendations and everybody follows them, then we're going to be okay. And so she makes a recommendation. I go, oh, she's got healthcare professionals, making these ideas and recommendations. I'm going to follow them because that's what a good citizen should do. But it's when you restrict my passage to do whatever the fuck I want to do as an American that I get pissed.
I mean, I sat there and I kind of thought about it, I was like, can I really get in trouble? Just going here and back. But honestly, when I stopped, I was a little nerd about it. I took fucking Lysol, had a mask, had gloves. I mean, so I wasn't taking the chance, especially, you know, if I'm in a company vehicle doing this for work and just picking something up, coming back. I mean, if I did bring something back or the virus, you know, at least I can try to keep it, you know, out of the company truck where everyone ain't touching
Damn
it.
it,
Nice,
Kevin. So
Well, I will say, I did. You're going to get a kick out of that.
So do I really
did
have
see
to quarantine for 2 weeks?
road yesterday.
'Cause I'll
There
take
was
the
a
day off.
guy in a vehicle. It didn't have any kind of company plates or anything on the side. It had standard private plates. He's in his vehicle, driving alone, and the guy had a fucking mask on, just driving by himself down the road. I'm thinking, homeboy, that might be a bit overkill there. Now, this is
We
like
have a winner.
60-year-old white dude, so probably the last dude who would ever expect to be called homeboy. But I was just thinking, homeboy, bit overkill there, my man. But no, he's fucking, not today, Corona. Not fucking today. That was how he was acting.
Jesus, we're gonna do this comment real quick. I've been debating it, but it's funny. Chicken, I hadn't really seen the porn, and you started it off in the house in Fairmont with 2 girls, 1 cup. I do believe you would cough in my face right now and slap me on the ass and tell me you'll be okay. Yes, I
Yeah, he would.
Yep.
Yeah. He would.
Yes. Happier times.
good old days.
Right.
Let me.
Do you
let
still
me
have all
touch
those
on
recordings, Tony? Do you still have
Yeah.
the recordings? All those?
Oh,
Yeah,
Tony
I got the DVD of all of our reactions watching all those wonderful,
Tony's got
beautiful
8,000
films.
hours of blackmail on everyone he's ever met.
I always
That's
joked
fair.
with Tony I could never run for office because he's got too much shit on me.
No, you just have to pay him off real well.
Yeah. Well, I just figured,
Yeah.
fuck it, we'll just like put it out publicly now. That's what we do here.
Like,
so.
fuck it, I'm going to be famous for that.
Yep, I did
You gotta own
that. I did all that.
People
shit. Yep, I
people
did that.
don't fucking care as long as you own it. If you own it, nobody gives a shit. But if you try to deny it or pretend like it didn't
Yeah,
happen,
check out
they
Louis
eat you
C.K. He's
alive.
on his comeback.
I'll never forget Herman Cain. He did the worst one. He was a politician, and I'm going to say some coarse language here, but he
How dare
got
you.
accused of sexual misconduct. And he came back with the worst denial. He basically did why, I would never do such a thing. For you see, I'm a celibate virgin. I would, why, if you were to put a woman's booty in my face, I wouldn't even know what to do with it. No. And that was his denial. And it was the worst fucking thing ever. And it's like, dude, no. So yeah, don't do the Herman.
How dare you?
Yes, it was bad. It was bad. So that's.
Speaking of Greta, what
You're right.
happened to her
Trump
through
on
all
I
the
this?
did
other
not
hand-
have sexual relationships with that woman.
Did not do it.
Lies.
But Trump, on the other hand, that was locker room talk. It happens. Nobody's perfect. I've grown past it. I'm a better person now. I'm sorry. Take me back. It's going to be different this time. I promise. What?
I love this. Brett sent this to me. Check your bank account and put a stack in there.
I wish that was true. God, I wish that was true.
Oh, that'd be so
And
good.
don't forget to holler at your boy in November.
Wow, that's good stuff. Let me backtrack in a minute there.
Rock you like a Herman Cain.
One of the comments earlier was about it's not about the other people. You need to take your own precautions and wear a mask, wipe your car, wash your hands,
yeah.
so on and so forth. And you do, you absolutely do, because again, this lives on surfaces for up to 3 days.
Well, like I said,
depending on the surface.
When I left, I cared about keeping, the company truck because, there's other people that use that truck besides me.
Yeah.
So, when I was
Yeah,
going
exactly.
into places, I was being safe. I mean, it wasn't just more for me. It is more for, keeping myself from hurting other people.
Right. But the other thing is you can be as precautious as you want. you can walk out of Walmart and get fucking sneezed on by somebody who didn't even know they had it.
And guess what? You
got
could
it a
both be
week.
wearing. You could both be wearing a mask, and you could still fucking
Exactly.
get it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And the masks and the
Sure.
gloves only do so much. And especially
Yep.
you see these pictures of people who wear the gloves and then take the fucking gloves off and hold the glove in their mouth to fucking text on their
Yeah,
phone or something.
I seen that. That
Oh,
was
God.
a true fucking
So-
winner.
Yeah, the precautionary stuff is ridiculous.
Well,
if
the thing is,
if
a
you
lot of
don't
people-
think about it all the way through.
Yeah, people don't understand the
go.
whole concept of cross contamination.
So Sarah had mentioned biggest fear being the responsible party if someone else gets infected and dies.
Yeah.
You know, that's I get that sentiment, and I get that little bit of fear, but I am more worried about bringing it home to my child who's got asthma. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where my head's wrapped around. You know, it's kind of family first, and then me, and then the public. So yeah, I do what I can to avoid people. Guess what I mainly do for runs. Normally I used to be in probably 10 to 15 stores a week for work and doing hands-on shit. I go to one store a week, and the only other trips I make are to that same store to do my own shopping. So I'm only there. And then Tony's FaceTiming with his kids, kissing them goodnight. Isn't that cute? And then, no, good dad. And then,
Mine just
Stay up.
passed out.
and then the other trip I make is to the liquor store to get me more Dalmore when I run out. So that's it. Otherwise, I'm at home. And stimulus.
Yeah.
Marty.
Same here. I mean, I don't go out that much. I mean, it's been at least 2, almost 3 weeks since I've been in Walmart.
Yeah, this is the longest I've been away from Walmart. Yeah, it's probably been a couple weeks for me as well. And we usually do that at least once a week. So I'm
Right?
sure we'll be having to go again soon. And even before this started to really, really become a bad deal, I was the only one going in, you know, by myself. I'd go run down the aisle, get all the shit that I need, try to get in and out quickly,
Same.
wipe the cart down, wipe my shit down. And even then, there were people with masks then and gloves then, but then there were still people with a fucking cartload of shit and a goddamn baby carrier on top of that. So the last time I was in Walmart, it was still pretty fucking scary that people weren't even thinking about themselves, let alone everybody else around them. But another comment earlier was about, you know, we can't trust the general population to take this lesson when things go to new normal. Why are we staying at home? Are we going to do this forever? No, we're not going to do this forever. We're going to do this until we officially have some sort of word on when this thing is peaked, when we can actually start going out in the public and doing social gatherings again, whatever form they may be, whether they're limited or not. And once we actually have an agreed upon form of treatment, which we have nothing close to that yet. I mean, there's motherfucking chiropractors on the internet right now telling you to take zinc and drink tonic water, for fuck's sake. Okay? That's how close we are to a fucking treatment. And then the goddamn president's over here saying one thing, and then the doctor standing next to him says, well, no, I don't agree with him on that. And then they butt heads. We do not have a vaccine yet. So we're going to be doing this for a long fucking time. We're going to be doing this until we have some form of agreed upon treatment and
Yeah,
something at least in the right direction. For
it
fuck's
just
sake. We need
it'd
something.
be around forever until we get a vaccine. Truly, I mean, just like you said, I mean, it will stay.
Can't take Tony fucking G seriously if he isn't wearing a.
There we go. It's like Samson, the power is restored. now.
This one's probably a little more disturbing here. Mike says, I have a manager that refuses to use hand sanitizer and have an 11-month-old baby at home. This is the exact reason. I won't name names or name companies or anything, but specific people in my small inner circle are no longer working as of today because their employer and bosses were not taking shit serious. And we finally said, out.
Stupid people shouldn't breed.
Yeah, that was was that the Blaze? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Back
God.
Tim
When
and
it
the
was
Animal
good.
used to do that.
When it was
This
good.
concludes another edition of Stupid
Right?
People Shouldn't Breed.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody here listens to Todd and Tyler, but fuck Todd and Tyler.
Retard.
Fuck them up the ass. And I quit listening to the Blaze about a year ago, just on the principle that I cannot fucking stand them. It got to the point where I could not listen to them and not get angry. It was so, and I'm sure that's just going to get worse. Anybody that's listening to
even
it right
the
now,
music,
tell me if I'm wrong. But the closer to the election we get, I'm sure it's gotten worse.
I mean, even the music. I mean, it's not even in the rock and metal. I mean, it's straight up screaming.
Oh yeah, there's music.
Oh yeah. Well, since we're talking about garbage, I got another news article for you. I'll send this one to Phil. I want to see Phil's reaction. Jesse Smollett and his attacker had a sexual relationship and visited a Chicago bathhouse together multiple occasions, says source, who claims records of their get-togethers will be subpoenaed in new trial. Phil, what do you think about that?
To
Bet you didn't know that one.
I was about to say, and now we finally have confirmed what every last one of us sensed and knew in our amygdala hindbrains, that, yeah, the fucking big muscly dude that fucked him at some point? No, I can't fucking believe it. I'm shocked, sir. I don't even know what to say to you. Yeah, we all knew that. And then I saw all the players involved are like, yep, either Jesse is or really, really wanted to fuck one or both of those guys. That was the entire reasoning for this whole thing. And it just fucking snowballed, and Jesse got caught in the big old lie, and now he don't know how to get out of it. Oh my God.
Juicy.
I'm just glad they quit calling him Jesse Smollett, because I was like, that's not how he spells his name. People quit calling him Jesse. My real name's Jesse. Don't fucking call him Jesse. Like,
you're making me feel weird.
What's up, Canadian dude? Welcome back.
Hey, Canadian dude. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Good night, Mike. It looks like Mike Mika. Appreciate you joining.
Night.
Hadn't seen that guy forever, man. I got stories about him.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Oh, no.
No. Good stuff. Once
we do get back on doing some episodic formats and we get up to 50, I was thinking for number 50, we just need to sit down and jot down some fucking awful stories about all of each other, and we'll just tell those over a fucking show.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
That would have to be like a behind scenes dark stage.
We can't do it without each other watching or being there. Like we just have to privately record it.
And release that. Yeah, let's record that one. Let's not do it live.
Yeah, that'd have to be recorded. I don't think we can do that live.
Yeah. And chicken.
Here's my episode about. I'd be telling a story about Phil. Here's how it'd go.
I was raped.
Ouch.
You're telling me.
That's the leader.
Where did that come from?
I'm so glad we're not drinking on a cough.
Oh my God.
This would be gone.
Yes.
That's what Phil used to tell me. He would always put a couple roofies in his own drink and nobody would touch him. It was very disappointing.
It was so disappointing. Nobody touched me.
He just looks at you. Do you taste that? Taste what? Tastes good,
Jesus.
don't it? Yeah, it does.
That's good shit.
Tony,
like being
that joke is so old. I think it can vote now. My God.
That joke's so old, R. Kelly wouldn't piss on it.
Oh, wow. Nice.
That was a good one.
Bingo.
I don't think there's anything R. Kelly wouldn't piss on, to be honest.
Right.
Who doesn't love that drunk at 3 a.m. arguing with yourself in the bathroom mirror drunk? Like, that's the best drunk. Can we all agree?
You're pretty and you know it.
All right, moving on.
Piece of shit.
3 coronavirus whistleblowers remain missing 2 months after exposing the truth. Scale of the outbreak from Wuhan. That's in China. Drink.
What is whistle? Yeah, damn it.
Gotcha.
What is whistleblower for coronavirus mean?
Oh, one at a time.
I can tell what it is you spend all day searching. So,
All right. I know, right? It just shows nothing but bras. Every time.
Yep.
Like, does she need a whistleblower? Because
Okay. Stick to the story. Stick to the story.
Oh yeah, there's a topic.
Yes.
wait, Tom.
Jesus Christ.
What
Whereabouts?
does whistleblower mean for coronavirus?
So these are the 3 Chinese fellas that broke to the world that this was actually going to be a pandemic and let it out. As far as I know, so it says 3
I know one.
remain missing 2 months later. We know of the main guy is dead, like the first
Yes.
guy
Yeah.
that brings
I
up.
was gonna
Yeah.
say, missing, Tony, is a euphemism, and it's a euphemism
Silence.
for dead. You know when Jim Ross would talk about how they have to confront their personal demons. Yeah, that's what I mean.
They did. Oh, you said what? Hey, I got a cool thing in the back. You want to check this out?
Ugh. It's
Wait, is this the Paul Khashoggi crew?
Before we get into any more with coronavirus and we dive deep into what we've all learned about China and kind of it's really been the breaking news. And if you haven't seen it or nobody's really reported, I saw Fox finally came out with it today. We'll get into that here in just a few moments. But the one thing I did post that on our preview to the page was we're going to talk a little bit more about the small business aid package. That is officially run out today, or at least is going to run out. So we got the $350 billion paycheck protection program. They're out of cash. Of course, they don't know who's gotten it or when they're getting it, but all applications are filled. They're out of funding. And we still have no extra money for it. So what's been happening is everybody agreed to this $350 billion, and then they went, shit, it's not enough. Over half of our workforce in the country works for a small business that needs these loans. We want to add, well, I can't remember, it was like 150 or $250 billion to it, whatever. Just make up a number because that's pretty much what we fucking do today. But no, the Dems wanted to chop it down and give it to hospitals, and then everybody else is like, we'll do that on the next stimulus. I said it. So the partisan bullshit's coming back into play. So what this has led to, and I don't know if you've seen this is kind of related to how Trump likes to get back on this partisan bullshit, is they've been blocking federal judges for 2.5 years. And you haven't seen much on the news about it. Like, Trump's brought it up a couple times, but now that they're blocking this SBA bill, Trump flat out said today, I will fucking move forward. I'll move forward with this with or without you. And he's going to adjourn Congress on the whole fucking federal judge thing. So they say they're not playing politics and it's not being, he's like, this is not partisan, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, they're fucking over his SBA deal. So he's like, fuck you. These judges are going to get passed one way or another. They're just taking as much time as they can. So I'm just going to fucking execute the process a little bit faster. And you don't want to give me my stimulus bill. You don't want to help me with this. You want to smear me in the news. Fuck you. I want my federal judges in there now. So I don't know. It's a slap back in the face. What do you think, Phil?
Well, if they're not going to do a stimulus for small business anymore, which is going to need it, because if we're stimulating, take some from NPR, but if we're going to stimulate individuals, they are going to need to have a place to go back to work to when this is all said and done. And the fact that this is getting held up politically again, I find somewhat despicable. Of course, yes, there is stimulus that's going to need to be passed around, but we can get to them. We don't need to stop just because the Democrats feel that maybe their personal sacred cows aren't getting fed quite enough. The last one was ridiculous. The Kennedy Center, the fact that it got as much as it did, and the fact that there is as much insider pork that gets drawn from that we now found out, absolutely reprehensible.
I'm super glad that we all get to pay that money back that they loaned us. Not just money for us, but for all the wonderful things that they thought they needed to throw in with that. And like some people are saying, like the funding, maybe you could find a chart that shows what all was included in that package. But there was really only that I could point out of that, like a handful of things that actually would directly help us in need right now that wasn't just directly related to the amount dumped into everybody's account. Like a lot of that stuff.
I had posted a whole list of it on Facebook at one time.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could find that again, but it was like
A lot of people
line by line
I've
who it
talked
went to, and then it actually had a link to the actual bill, so you could look it up page by page, and you read it. You're like, what? That's fucking real?
Yeah, and we get to pay that back. Not just the money that we're borrowing temporarily from ourselves, but all that extra shit. We get to pay for that.
Here's the fun
I
part
tell
about how you're
people
going to pay
about
that
that.
back.
We got to
You're
pay
going
it
to pay
back.
that.
And they're like, no, we don't. It's like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's not
so-
free. It's like someone has to pay for it.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
What do you
mom and
think?
dad, can I have some money? And they're like, well, go do some chores. Well, okay, yeah. In imagination land, you can just make money out of thin air because that's what we think moms and dads do. So that's what most people think the government does. Is we just
Imagination land.
yeah, imagination land again. Here we go. Maybe we should make that an official segment. But imagination land, the government prints money. Oh fuck, they do. But
They do.
here's the indirect effect of how we're going to pay for it. We're going to pay for it through inflation, and what Phil's super afraid of is the future economic. Go ahead, Phil. I
He's chomping.
yeah.
Well, yes, the deflationary depression.
Yes, that's that's how we're going to pay for it through inflation. They as long as Trump's there, they're not going to raise taxes without everybody's approval and everybody going, yeah, we probably should do that. So spend your COVID bucks wisely, folks.
Not just that, but this is the perfect time to start selling pictures of your feet on the internet.
Maybe you'll be on one of these ads on my screen pretty soon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Be a bra model. Apparently, it's a very lucrative business right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
This is a brand new computer that has no data on me. So as much shit as you want to give me,
Shit.
I don't use this for anything but podcasting, and I don't log into anything other than YouTube for this.
Shit.
No, not any data. It has the first data. It's
What
like-
was that, Phil?
We just talked about the Herman Cain defense and how nobody believes it. Come on, chicken. Come on. Consult our intelligence here, good sir. But
If you've ever bought anything off Amazon, it's got a microchip recording what you want to fucking look at on the internet. Come on, chicken. Your
I didn't buy you
conspiracy
this off of
tinfoil
Amazon.
hat. Anything that you have in your house, if it's ever come from Amazon, especially you said you bought shit from Wish. Come on, you know damn well.
I
They've
bought
got
Bluetooth
microphones.
headphones from Wish, and they took 6 months to show up, and then the fucking batteries lasted 10 minutes. I threw the fuckers away.
See?
Shit, coronavirus hit here faster than you can get your Wish fucking package.
That's true. Fucking Wish.
Fuck.
Ah.
I'll order something from Wish just to see how long it takes.
inflation or deficit is basically a promise to tax the unborn. So yes, it will be paid back, but it's kind of the nefarious things that politicians can do with inflation is they can take the money, make it, and distribute it out now, and it will be paid back in the future. And that's how they can get away with it, because we're not going to pay it back in the here and now. The here and now, we're all just like, hey, free money. Hey, apparently there is such a thing as a free lunch. But
Yeah.
as we'll learn again and again and again, there's a great pamphlet that needs to be read. It's called Fiat Money Inflation in France. How it came, what it brought, and how it ended. I can't remember the author's name, but that's the exact. And the English is just so beautifully written, but it talks about perfectly what happens when France rose to prominence. It brought in extreme inflation and how it ended. And we are at the very beginning of that historical timeline, if you will. So I am both concerned and also a little bit curious because this is the first time that we've had a massive amount of inflation created in our market, but we, the people, actually get to participate in the front of it. Like I said last time, normally we have to loan that plus interest and pay it back to a lending institution. So interesting time.
Interesting indeed. So we popped it up while you're talking there, Phil. Brett says, I haven't heard you guys talk about the unemployment pay and how some people are making 2 to 3 times more than they were when they were working, while the essential employees get paid normal pay. Seen a lot of different things on that. What's your thoughts? I have a few thoughts on that.
Well, it's only for so long, though.
Well, so hold on. There's time constraints on some of these, and it's different sectors of employment. So, if you want to compare
Very
essential
complex.
employees to each other, name a job that's not essential right now.
Stripper.
Okay.
I mean,
It's like, come on, like who hasn't been told that they're fucking somewhat essential in the middle or lower class? So, who's staying at home? Who's staying at home right now?
It was.
Who's staying at home right now? Like executives or people that have a job that they can work from home.
If you can use Zoom to do your job, you're at fucking home right now.
Yeah. So that's the difference between some of this. So, okay. So, but even them, me, I'm doing as much work from home as I can, and I'm technically essential. I have not received any extra pay. I don't ask for any extra pay. I'm just doing my job.
Online stripping.
Yeah, I'll go to stripping.
Yes.
Right? I mean, online at home, we can make
some retail workers.
Yes.
Some retail workers are getting more pay. You're definitely getting fuck tons of overtime. You're getting time and a half like fucking crazy right now. If you're an hourly worker, no matter what industry you're in, everybody needs it. So I don't know who's making 2 to 3 times more on unemployment, because I don't know how that's possible unless you are a super, super low income, because like in some states, they gave you an incentive to not only go on unemployment if you
hot dog stand.
Quit interrupting, Jeremy. Jesus.
I'm sorry.
That's my gimmick. What the fuck?
Anyway.
I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, I would mute Phil normally. I'm gonna start muting you.
This takes a second to come in, so it like times itself in.
It doesn't take a second for me to hear you. God, jeez. Anyway, so the people that are having these issues and thinking people are making 2 to 3 times more, I don't see it. Like, I'm not sure who they are. And Brett just posted dining places that don't have drive-through. So I'm guessing maybe they're adding tips onto their wages instead of because they can't get tips. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. That's speculation, I guess. But I haven't seen any proof of it. That's my problem. Is the people that are essential workers are getting paid more. Yep. Some are bitching, even though they're getting paid more, but they're still going to work. So that's their own fucking choice at this point.
Yeah.
That's I don't know.
I agree. I haven't seen. I guess like you said, I haven't really seen any real data of it actually happening. Like I see people talking about it, but that's it. I just see people talking about it. I haven't actually seen any of it happening, and that's probably a lot because we live in the areas that we live in. But why are the essential employees still getting normal pay? Well, that's an easy answer. Because right now the Republicans and the Democrats are using it as political leveraging, what they're calling hazard pay. That's never going to fucking come to fruition because right now they're just using it to play chess with each other. And who can make it work for them better? Which side of the aisle is going to make that hazard pay work for them better? And I don't even think that we're going to see that end up being a thing. Hazard pay sounds great, but it's not going to fucking happen unless both of them go, okay, your plan's acceptable. Let's go with that.
And that would require compromise, Tony. And that's not going to happen because as much as Tony, sorry, my centrist yet still dedicatedly single single ticket voter, buddy of mine. Here's the weird thing. We all talk about, well, we want people to, work across the aisle and reach across the aisle and work with the other side. I don't know why we like hearing this, because nobody really fucking believes a word of it. And if you look at our actions, I can't identify a single person that actually wants it. Yet we still like hearing it, but it's one of the strange idiosyncranicities of American life that we love hearing this nonsense, yet nobody wants to compromise on shit. Nobody wants to give an inch of ground on anything, and yet we keep talking about being bipartisan. So, sorry to give you a little shit there, pal, but it's just something that always gets my goat.
No, that's fine, and you're right, because it's one of those buzz statements that well-spoken guys in suits in Washington like to say. Well, I want to reach across the aisle. No, you don't. Nobody fucking means it. Everybody has their own agenda, even if they're belonging to a certain party or not. Like Trump's talking about, I want to forgo taking income tax until the end of the year from people working throughout this. When the Democrats are like, well, that's fine, let's do it this way, but we also need to do it, add on this. So it's not going to happen. There's no such thing as compromise when you're playing political chess. It's just, it sounds good. It's not happening.
Canadian dude popped in, watching the video, all the cars in Michigan protesting. Not sure what to think about it. And that I think that was my sentiment with it too. I was encouraged to see people were protesting because what the governor had done there, in my opinion, the governor overstepped bounds big time. I don't know if they're policing any of it or actually like doing anything, enforcement wise. But yeah, it was just a bunch of cars driving around, people honking horns in front of the Capitol building, and they were protesting. It looked peaceful. It was loud, and nobody was social distancing, but I guess that's their choice, right? It's like your choice. It's probably my more libertarian ideas. I would rather
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, I'd rather not have laws and rules against drugs, because I think the laws create more problems than help problems, because then it creates a black market and creates a crime syndicate and creates issues. Rather control it with the free market. It works way better that way. So anytime you add rules and regulations and shit like that, I don't know. Maybe I'm taking this too far. I'm taking it beyond. Sorry.
I've got
You're spitting over here.
I've got a comment that's not in the chat, but here, this comes from my wife. So here we go. You guys need to do your research. Essential workers not getting paid more. Actually, a lot are losing hours because people aren't coming into clinics and there are no elective surgeries or whatever. Also, we have hazard pay now if need be. So it depends on what field you're in.
So that's for healthcare workers. So tell her on. Well, hopefully she's listening.
I think she's listening.
Okay. Tony's wife. I did mention different industries may have different things. I'm only familiar with my own and a few that I'm aware of. I have no awareness to the healthcare industry, so I apologize, Mrs. G.
Damn right.
Another thing I wanted to touch on, I guess, just as maybe a throwaway comment. No. There's that. But we just discussions we've had over the last week or so with some various people. But originally it was kind of thought of that pregnant women would be more susceptible to this. But we're hearing now that that's not the case. And even a pregnant woman that has contracted COVID can give birth to a healthy baby without the baby having COVID. So what was a scary thought initially has the data is starting to come through a little bit more now. We're learning more as this goes along, but apparently that's not necessarily the case now, which that's a really good thing to hear. So there's a bit of a positive light on the end of the tunnel. I did want to throw that in there.
Sure. What are your thoughts on? I guess we'll move this right along, and we'll get to a point where we start wrapping up here pretty soon. But and I'm gonna get ready to drink, folks. I'm about to say
shit.
Oh
China.
shit.
If I'd
What'd you
say
say?
China lab or quarantine or stimulus.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's
like
4
you got
drinks.
Phil's drinking wine, so he doesn't give a shit because he's an ass.
He's on the grape.
I'll
Real quick,
Right. It's just going to get more joyful.
the Canadian dude talking about all the crazy protesting and the cars and whatnot. I guess something not even remotely comparable, but in the same wheelhouse. I guess you could almost count it here in our little small town of 2,000 people. Last Friday we had what we call the cruise night, which is essentially where everybody who's been social distancing jumps in their car and goes and cruises Main Street, which is
Drives around the courthouse.
3, 4, 5 block radius, and it was just an excuse for everybody to get out of the house and do something since all these events have been canceled. And we had upwards of 200 cars throughout the night. Which, I mean, we were talking 3 to 5 mile an hour during the beginning of this. It was a huge turnout, but then it started at 7:30, and then the cops said "fuck this" at 11 o'clock and shut the show down. And said, "Everybody go home. That's enough. We're tired of fucking waiting on you." So, granted, that's a much smaller scale comparison, but they're still policing people's right to be out and that constitutional right to not lock yourself in your home. So I didn't want to throw that comparison in.
Which that was the way here in Exeter. I partaked in that cruise thing Saturday. My internet went out, so I was like, "Well, fuck, what do we do?" So I went and jumped in my old Eclipse.
That was a bit of a scare, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I was like, I was gonna jump on you guys. I was like, well, fuck, doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to jump on. And it's like, oh, I'll watch TV. It's like, fuck, I don't have cable. I ain't got dish. I watch everything on Hulu. My life in the house is ran on internet. It's like, what the fuck do I do now? So went outside, started the grill. We went outside and enjoyed the day, that we could, and started seeing people cruising around. It came late, and then I heard louder cars. I was like, ooh, I got a loud car. So I decided to go out and have some joy. And it pretty much came down to me and some dude that had a literally stocked fucking race car was cruising around Main Street, and me and him were the only ones that were giving the town a heartbeat.
Somebody's got to.
It was pretty cool. It was fun. It was like a back in the 90s, fucking good old Fairmont, people cruising up and down Main Street, brought that back, and it was just awkward that I had kids with me this time.
That's the Exeter.
Exactly.
The Exeter cruise still go down to the pool and then back up to the train tracks.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Geneva had to make a different route because they've completely cut off east of Superfoods. They're redoing Main Street.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You couldn't flip around at Cornerstone.
Yeah, how
we
do they go now?
Well, we had to go north about 4 blocks because there were so many people. So we had to go north 4 blocks, and then it went way past the bullpen on the west side. You were going clear down by Co-op, a couple, at least 2 more blocks. There were so many cars. It was actually pretty cool.
It's pretty slow though.
Get out of the house. Like 3 to 5 mile an hour.
Yeah, I'd sit there and just like let it roll in neutral, put it in gear, roll in neutral, gear.
Kids.
So I guess
we actually had a power stand station. It's right in front of the grocery store. So whoever had a really good souped up car, like, all right, you want a power stand? They're like, yeah. And then they just roll it, take off.
I can't front. What I do when I want to get out is, I'm at the farm working, but I also have a little patch of hunting ground where my great grandfather purchased it right after the Depression. And it's just prime hunting ground. It's got half of it's great farm ground. The other half's great creek bottom hunting ground with a nice little forest. I go up there every couple of days just to check on it. Also, it's nice to get out and walk around. And also, a couple of years ago, there were some poachers that used to hit it up. So I'm also making sure that no poachers hit up my family's hunting grounds. So that is how I kind of get out and cure my cabin fever if I got to.
Sure, sure.
I can't front.
Let's get to our last topic here and round this bitch out. We're almost 2 hours in here.
I see that.
Oh, and us essential folks have to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, kinda. I don't know. Whatever. I'm working from home tomorrow. It's weird, and my wife will be home, and I have to homeschool my child, and this whole thing's fucked up, people. It's fucked up.
You should be doing this.
I don't know what to do.
Right.
So I'm going to start this off before we get into the World Health Organization and the announcement Trump made. Phil, I hope you watched, Phil, you introduced me to Stefan, the YouTuber. Did you watch the case against China video a few days ago?
I have not. That was actually on my list of things to watch, actually, if not later tonight, tomorrow morning. So
it is fucking amazing. So it came out in the news with Fox. Fox News broke it today. Trump mentioned it in his press briefing today as well, that it is damn near, there's multiple sources out there right now saying that this did not come from a bat human transmission. We did not eat a bat. The eating bat thing is bullshit.
Wasn't even served there.
No, it wasn't served there. And the evidence
the
is
Wuhan market. It was it's straight up proven they did not sell or.
Oh, in which market? There's got to be how many fucking markets?
Well, the fish,
what they call a wet market.
Yeah, the fish market where they.
We're not talking about the market. We're talking about the black market where you can basically go and get exotic fucking animals that they kill on the spot for you. Yeah, the market, no, probably not serving bat, but the fucking other market that they don't advertise, hell yeah, there's fucking bat there. That's easy as shit to get. It's the other stuff that's there. It's all the interaction of the animals that wouldn't normally be together in that.
Here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that, Tony. You're making a lot of assumptions. What proof do you have? You know why you have zero proof? You know why you have zero proof?
Damn it, he said China.
Yeah, he said China. That's 3 times we got to drink. But anyway, you know why there's no proof, Tony? Do you have any idea?
Why is that?
Because they destroyed all the evidence.
Of course they did. They could anyway.
So if you wanted to paint a scenario, so I'm going to do what Stefan did on here. Let's build a case for a murder. Say your name's Bob and you wanted to kill your wife, but you didn't want to get caught. How would you go about doing so? Maybe you wrote a bunch of blogs and you got all the circumstantial evidence of all these things. You've talked about it. You said how you were going to do it. You've put money into it. You've even reached out to your insurance company ahead of time saying, I want this money in advance if my wife goes missing and you can't prove her death or being alive. How would you go about doing all this? And you run this whole scheme through, but then you destroy all the evidence. Destroying the evidence is an admission of guilt to a certain extent.
Absolutely. I mean, I understand the argument there perfectly.
There's no evidence to something else. It just straight up, it's you.
There's a certain point where it's
like the game Clue.
Yes, the game Clue. Well, beyond the game Clue, Phil, could 1,000 monkeys in 1,000 years recreate any of goddamn, now it's losing my mind.
The works of Shakespeare?
Yes, there it is.
Yes, I've heard that. It's an old phrase that 1,000 monkeys given 1,000 years or an infinite amount of time will eventually hammer out the complete works of Shakespeare. You can eventually get there. But yes, what you're talking about in the terms of destroying evidence, that is sort of an implicit admission of some sort of guilt. Now, we have no way, and we will never know if it actually truly came from a bat, a rat, a cat, whatever kind of animal it came from. It could be, a pig, could be a cow, could be anything. We don't know, and we'll probably never know because that's the weird
There's
with viruses.
there's some pretty healthy
Well,
proof.
hang on. You can catch a virus very easily, especially one like this. It's almost impossible to be able to pinpoint exactly where you got it from, though. That's just the way.
You need to watch Stefan's video on there. He breaks it down in really good detail. And I've done a little extensive research outside of it of like his like where he's getting some of that information. This seems pretty legit that this was not from necessarily bad. It was originally there's two viruses that came together. You have the SARS virus and the coronavirus have conjoined is pretty much what this
and
one
research
that we have
on
right now.
your S protein.
Yes. Anyway, so these two viruses have pretty much combined to make the 2-week incubation period with a lethality rate that's higher. Well, it's not as high as everybody thinks it was going to be. However, like the natural way that would happen in the world is very, 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 very fucking unlikely. That's why I brought up the 1,000 monkeys and the 1,000 years bit, because it's that goddamn unlikely that we would get Shakespeare with 1,000 monkeys and 1,000 years. Same thing with this COVID-19. And not only that, we're going to have COVID-20. We're going to have COVID-21. The shit's just starting. And the research he's done and many others have done, and where this information is just now coming out, like in the last couple fucking days.
Yep.
This is mind blowing, and I'm probably not giving any of it fucking justice because I've had way too much to drink. But like, this is going to be something we're going to be talking about for fucking weeks. The information coming out now, how it's almost definite. Like I'm just waiting for the word. I'm just waiting for the word that Wuhan, China, drink, made
How do
this.
you always do that right after I take a drink?
Conveniently. They not only manufactured this, whether it was a bioweapon or not, that can be disputed. We'll figure that out as time comes, but
It's a leak.
But it was definitely manufactured.
Well, I mean, more of the proven study manufactured. I mean, if you look at the spikes, okay, so the COVID-19 or SARS, SARS had more of a point. Now, if you look at the way this one is, like if you do a little researching on like the proteins of the virus, so like if you bring a picture up and this virus, it has the same S proteins as HIV. So in
trying to show the picture, sorry.
Yeah, in form of an HIV, to even that to be with a like Corona SARS type virus to be mixed like that, it comes down to it has to be scientifically made in a lab.
Go ahead, Phil. You had something to say.
Here's the thing. When we, yes, Stefan Molyneux, definitely a guy worth checking out. I've been watching his work for years. But when you're talking about COVID-20, COVID-21, COVID-22, here's the thing. COVID-19 is going to mutate. And it probably already has. Probably is as we're speaking. And I know this is going to be the thing nobody wants to hear. And this is going to be like, but that is a good thing. You want it to mutate. Over enough time, this virus will mutate into one that is much less deadly, because that is the best survival strategy for a virus, is to not kill its host, yet make them carriers. In 5 years, COVID-19, COVID-20, COVID-21 will be as common and hopefully as annoying as the common cold, because they will continue to mutate. So yes, they are going to mutate. And I know
a long time for that one though.
You hear this, but that's what you want it to do. I know, because it seems like the unknown, but that is a virus's best survival strategy.
Nope. You're absolutely right. And the speed of mutation though is, and that's the fun thing with it, because it's an RNA, not a DNA strand, so it will mutate fucking like 20 times faster than, or what was that, like 100 times faster than most viruses. What are you ripping up over there, Tony? Tony's like, fuck it, there goes my script.
Going
just
off
ruined my
script
night.
now. Yep, going off script. No.
Well, you created
No.
the drama. Now you got to talk. So
I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay, fine. No, I don't know that I necessarily want to buy into any of the this was created, because I'm gonna take it back to the simplistic view of we have had many a pandemic in human history, and those weren't created in labs. Drink,
Oh, you bastard.
but
Grab my damn bottle.
granted, they all originate somewhere. And did this originate because of people fucking around playing with science, or did this fuck around because of accident? I'm going to assume that it's the case with most things, and the truth is somewhere in between.
Well, I mean, SARS was more less a leak, though.
What do you mean less a leak?
I mean, there it was proven that they when it came out, it was leaked out. I mean, it wasn't just full natural.
So are you saying like the
So
place handling it
yeah,
had
so
poor
pretty-
security
yeah, so,
measures?
like,
are you talking SARS or are you talking COVID? Like I'm
SARS. So like how that happened, it was more of a leak through a lab. So it's pretty much, it was something that they were dealing with. I mean, they were dealing with COVID-19s beforehand, or not COVID-19s, just COVID in general. And SARS was one thing, they were working on that was a leak in that laboratory there in Wuhan.
Gotcha. Phil,
So
what'd you have?
do you think that the reason that they were able to get a handle on SARS was because it came out of a lab? Ooh. Sorry, drink.
Damn. Oh, they both said lab. That's two drinks.
Yeah.
God damn it.
But just for those who aren't aware, SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, a viral respiratory illness caused by a coronavirus, was first diagnosed in Asia in February of 2003, later reaching the U.S. in the same year. Common symptoms included high fevers, coughing, shortness of breath. A total of 8,098 people worldwide became sick, with only 8 of those cases being in the U.S., and 774 people died.
So SARS, like everybody downplays SARS. SARS was a serious disease, and that's part of what we're dealing with. Like the people that have the extreme symptoms and the extreme and are dying from COVID today, that's SARS. This is like I said, this is two diseases built in one. This is SARS mixed in with another disease. God, what I missed? Did somebody put something in the comments? I just saw Tony's reaction.
Brett's comment.
He just Nancy Pelosi that document. Yes, he ripped up some papers.
I'm making a statement.
Oh, cheers, Brett. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
I don't mean to be contrarian here, fellas, but when I hear that this disease or that disease was grown in a lab, really, like a guy that's been involved in trying to insert genes into plant biology, we are shockingly bad at doing so. Like the viruses we would be able to make would be so wimpy, they would barely, you'd have a hard time getting it from dude 1 to dude 2. And where do I think this virus came from? The same place that the Black Plague and the 1918 Spanish flu came from, a unique mutation born of a unique hardiness event of an organism. Some organism exhibited a unique amount of survivability and hardiness, and it caused a virus to mutate, and then that virus transmitted.
Here's my fun with the COVID Chronicles. I can't wait to see Phil's opinion change in 4 fucking days when we come back and do another live show. I'm always 2 steps ahead of this guy. I can't wait for him to go, fuck, God damn it, chicken, you were right again. And that's why I am your current reigning, defending, undisputed champion. No.
We gonna have to make a COVID belt.
maybe.
God.
Oh, Tony just had to drop out on that one. Chicken,
I heard
you were
him.
2 steps ahead of me, but then you turn around and see that you're 3 steps behind, sir.
Mm.
And we'll get money in the bank. But no, I am a thinker. So if I find data that's counter to a previously held opinion, whenever you have facts versus theory, the facts always win out. So at first we're like, this isn't going to be that big of a deal. Well, the facts have changed, and now we must reassess our previous theories.
Yes.
So if I have to, I will, but that is, my Socratic level intellects just playing forward, chicken.
Yeah, I'm just 3
For
days
sure.
ahead of news than you are. That's all.
It's like that 3 second delay.
As always.
I actually spent some day out in the woods. It was delightful. I walked around in the old hunting plot and, saw the deer and the trees and shit. I thought, the world's going to be better. And then I get back, oh no, OPEC's starting the world on fire again. What the fuck, man?
I put my phone down for 10 minutes today, and then I got an alert for Dan Bongino said you must read this, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta read this."
Dan Bongino, guy kind of knows what the fuck he's talking about.
He does.
So speaking about, Phil, you talking about the whole woods and things.
Shit.
Apparently not.
Ah. See,
The
here's
government
the
doesn't want
problem.
going out in the
I don't know.
woods.
I don't know why mine keeps dropping out, but at least I'm not the only one. I don't know what the
When
fuck's
yours
going
is
on.
working, Tony, when yours is working, it's working amazing.
Okay.
Like your video
I got
quality, I'm
nothing.
just gonna zoom in on you because on my screen, your video quality is fucking tits. It's top
Look how
notch.
bad I need to shave, guys. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I need a haircut. I need to shave. I need all kinds of shit.
Nobody's doing any of that shit. Luckily, I got like a haircut like 2 weeks before this whole shit went down, so I can just side swipe it for as long as I need to. So whatever.
Got a lot of long comments from Kevin in the text. It's
Bring 'em.
hard. Let's see here. It's all a plot by doomsday theorists to eliminate a large portion of the population to help save the planet. Just one of the few theories I've heard floating around. That's a theory. We won't get into that one then. Viruses and diseases evolve because during treatment, because people choose to stop taking medication. That's more of like what
That's
do you
how
call
it
it?
happens in the West. But when you're talking about random diseases, it can happen from an animal that's brought near death and it comes back from that near death experience. Like I said, a random hardiness event, which causes the virus inside them to mutate. So
What
you're
Kevin's
talking
referring
about
to there is
happens in the
what Kevin's more referring to is like MRSA. Like that's a MRSA disease. That's not one of these, COVID fucking
It is-
SARS or anything.
It is a way that diseases do mutate, and it is a helpful example, but I don't think that's how this one came about.
Yeah.
But anywho, Germs, you were in the middle of asking something about the woods.
Stupid me. I forgot to leave the laptop plugged in and
Oh my God, rookie! You fucking rookie! Hey, this camera's way better though. By the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. 10 times
Yeah,
better.
no, that's beautiful.
The camera and mic, like it's got this weird little block things on the side, but you know what? It streams better, and when you talk, it doesn't block the rest of us out. So I like it.
Oh, nice.
That's why Phil needs a headset.
That's that good old Motorola right there, man. No, when Phil
Ain't
was
got corona.
when Phil was talking about the whole being out in the woods thing, I made a comment to the wife. I was like, if it ever came to the point, I was like, how would you feel about, pretty much living in the middle of fucking nowhere, live off the land, live out in the woods? And it's like, how many people could actually do that?
Yeah.
I doubt I could do it successfully.
You might be
And-
surprised. It's not as
but-
hard as most people think, but like they're like, I don't know. The hunting thing is probably the thing that most people lack. Like,
Yeah.
I think most of us could figure out how to build shelter. Most of us know how to build a fire. Most of us know how to do some of those, like fishing and
Water.
and cleaning. Hopefully, everybody can clean their own fish and filter their own water. But it's
not a problem.
you can't depend on fishing. Fishing's not always easy, and it's cold up here sometimes. So you have to be able to hunt too, and be able to skin and clean an animal. So that's where people fall short.
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of times.
and
kinda
sorry,
have a-
honey, I love you, but that was the first thing. She's like, "So how would we eat?" It's like, well, we would pretty much. You seen that squirrel that just got fucking dropped out of the tree and died? Well, that's lunch.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to.
Phil, what were you saying?
One of my cheats is, and yeah, it's why I don't tell people where it is, but on my great grandpa's hunting ground, if you go deep into it enough, there's actually a year-round natural spring that just pumps out a couple gallons a minute of water, and that's kind of my fallback point. If the world goes to hell in a handbasket, I got running water no matter what. So
Yeah,
that's how I would survive apocalypse, because you need water, and many shall die.
You can live along your own water.
So here's this is actually a good point. Most people weren't grown up on Little House on the Prairie. A lot of people
Meaning they didn't grow up in that setting, or they didn't watch the show.
No, grow up in that setting.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's what she meant. I'm assuming
Go
that's
watch
what she meant.
TV. Go watch some
Yes.
westerns. You'll learn real quick.
No. So you can't learn that shit on TV. Like, you can't learn how to skin a deer necessarily. Like, you can watch a YouTube video. I'm sure there's
You
some
can
pretty-
watch on on YouTube. Fuck, dude,
Oh, yeah.
TV is obsolete at this point. Well, there you go. You got stuff to do during quarantine. You're bored as fuck. You want to learn some shit in case we get to the
Start
Walking
learning
Dead
how to
without
survive.
zombies. YouTube shit. Learn shit as you sit there doing nothing, bored. Watch and learn how to do this shit on YouTube if society collapsed.
I tell you what, go like I would if I was a person that didn't have any idea what the fuck was going on, I would make friends with somebody that had a good idea of the skills I don't have. I'd be like, hey, what does Phil have that I don't? What does Jeremy have that I don't? What does Tony have that I don't? And I would utilize my resources and spend a week picking their brain, spending time with them, and figure some shit out.
Like, yeah, I
Because
went
what's it
over
gonna
to
hurt?
his
What's it
house.
gonna hurt? The world's not gonna come to an end in 3 weeks, right? If I spent
Yeah.
3 weeks spending time with 3 different people, learning 3 skills I did not previously know, hey, in 3 weeks you learn 3 really fucking great, valuable things, and the world's still not coming to an end. But guess what? In week 4, if it does,
Still
you got
learn stuff.
3 fucking badass skills that nobody else does.
And
Either way, it's a win-win.
what that's called, again, Scott Adams, another guy you need to check out. He calls it building your skill stack, because everybody has some kind of skill stack. And any one individual skill doesn't make you really stand out all that particularly well. But if you have a good stat, and he uses Donald Trump as an amazing example. He's not the most effective communicator in terms of having the best enunciated sentences, but he is the best communicator in making sure his message is understood by everyone that hears him. And he has entrepreneurial skills, he has negotiation skills, he has high intelligence IQ with the people that. So it's all these things together make a unique skill stack that makes him uniquely suited for whatever task he found him in. That's just one example, but every human has their own skill stacks. It's
Oh, yeah.
kind of like Napoleon Dynamite. Girls like guys like nunchuck skills and those kind of ninja skills. Like, yes, it's the skill stack. And yeah, I this is an excellent time. Like what I'm doing right now, like checking, you despise it, but there's nothing in it. Don't worry, but I'm taking the time to get my bartending skills up. So when folks are back over here for entertainment purposes, ain't nobody got time for that. Well,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I think some people have nothing but time.
I know, right?
This is a time to try and build things on your skill stack. So that's an amazing bit of advice. If you get anything else from us tomorrow, do that.
No, Phil, you touched on something really good there. My brother Lynn was like, he bought like a cheap guitar for his daughter and another cheap one for himself, and that's what they're doing on their spare time right now. Is they're sitting down and him and his daughter are learning how to play guitar together. Something he's always wanted to do, and she's really interested in it. It's like it's a good time to bond with family on like. Fucking like everybody always talks about like I want to do this with my kid and I want to like and nobody fucking does it. Nobody's ever fucking done it up until now. And now you have the fucking chance, if you haven't taken the opportunity to build a skill, spend time with family and fucking do any of this, you're wasting it because this shit's going to be over soon. In a month from now you're going to look in a month from now, you're going to look back and be like, God damn it, I fucking wasted 2 months of this.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
time's
Jeremy,
in essence now.
My mother was just texting me. She was more agreeing with you on the origins of this virus than me. And she's like, I will send you the facts. You wait. So
fucking told you. Fucking told you. Even your mom knows you're wrong.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I just thought that was kind of, I got a kick out of that.
Cheers, Mrs. Lauber. Cheers.
Awesome.
Everybody disagrees with me. Damn it. Cheers.
You got to catch up on the news, Phil. God, you're the only one.
Fuck me.
I know Tony doesn't watch the news, so I don't give him shit about it.
Well, I mean, earlier when, I kind of brought the subject up before. I think it was the second time I came in the cast. And it was a conspiracy thing at first, and it's like now I'm seeing more of this, and it's like now it's conspiracy was here, and now it's more belief. So, it's touch and go. I mean, I'm more of the person who's, really have to get the proven facts, like the real hard proof to believe, but we'll see where it comes down to.
Marty mentioned skill stats sound like Pokemon levels. It does.
Right?
He said we should all get measured. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't like it because it's socialist, but
I wonder if there's a way we can
measure for a nice coat or something. You know what I mean? That's
go to LinkedIn if you want that. Go to LinkedIn. It'll measure you.
For a second, I was like, getting measured. It's like, it's not cold.
Jeremy, you pervert.
I could get this jacket refitted, but it's fit wrong.
Because I mean, if it's really cold, it's going to look like China down there.
Oh, drink. Good job. That was a hell of a way. You snuck that one in, bastard. I saw Robert Durant had a comment earlier. I don't know if he's still on or not. He's a buddy of mine that I used to work with a few years back. I'm interested. If he's still on, you better have a question for us. I noticed you said something, but then I got distracted. Get your ass back in the comments, Rob.
Get your ass back in here.
Yeah, get your ass. I'll do the scorpion. Get over here. Yeah.
Another one bites dust.
I knew I needed to get LinkedIn updated. Yes, you do. You do. You need to add me too, and then you need to say yes. I have all the skills I say I have because that's how LinkedIn works. It's weird. Is LinkedIn the biggest scam ever? Are any of you guys on LinkedIn? Tell me that's not the biggest scam ever.
LinkedIn.
No, that's. I never understood. That thing's like 10 years old, isn't it?
You think I'm on there?
Hold on. What's LinkedIn?
So LinkedIn is the professional, job, like Facebook type social media. So it's just like Facebook, but you like just post like job shit and
So
your
you get
work
paid.
history and things you do at work, and then you put your skills down. You're like, I'm good at this. I'm good at this. I'm good at this. I'm good at this. And you
Well,
just,
anyone can
list-
say they're good at something. That's their
Right,
own opinion.
No, but then you have to invite people to be your friend, and then they say, yeah, he is good at this, and he is good at this, and then you have to build. Oh my
Just
god,
look
you
at
build
this.
It's so fucking commie. It's not even funny. I'm on there. I hate it so much, but employers look at it and it's one of those things ooh, I fucking hate having to do it. It's one of those things for my job, I do it to post job things, but I do as little on there as I fucking possibly can. I hate it. Every time I get on there, I'm just ugh, wash it. Ugh, I need to take a shower. It's fucking gross.
Has
I'm
it
good at
gotten
cleaning my
better?
hands.
Because the last time I logged in was I want to say 5 years ago, I think I signed up for it. And it's the worst version of MySpace ever.
No, it's gotten better. It's more Facebook.
It was like hover draft.
No, it's more Facebooky now.
Oh, well, at least they've upgraded.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
Chick, I just got a Facebook, which, by the way, for the KOE Nation podcast that's going to be debuting, my Facebook page is just opened up. Phil KOE. I'll tweak the name in enough given time, but definitely check it out. Grow the KOE Nation. All that matters. That's probably
What's wrong with your LinkedIn to where you can't have your parents, where you can't have your grandparents or parents looked at it? What's wrong with your LinkedIn? Oh, I need to hear more about that.
I was saying this might be an interesting subject.
What did you do to your LinkedIn? How do you fuck up LinkedIn?
Were you trying to count it?
I was about to say, if it's for professional people, how do some of the assholes of the world resist? It's this chicken is the best at being a dumb fuck who fucks everything up. How does that know it's not put on?
That's what my that's what my resume starts as, and then I go, no, that's a bad idea. Okay, let's go the other way.
So the lie route, nice.
Wish everyone had this crazy fun honesty. You know what, Marty, you're
Agreed.
right. Appreciation where appreciation's due. Cheers.
Drink to that.
Thank you, Mr. Suri. Welcome to the show.
Well, he's welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
All right.
Titties.
I've gone through, I think, every news article I had every topic we had mentioned. Over 600,000. We're approaching 700,000 people infected in the country.
I thought you were about to say
Oh, I
viewers.
thought you talked about views. We had 700,000.
Oh yes,
Fuck
yes,
yeah.
views. Yes, of course, views.
I mean, honestly, if we could get into there, I'll do some viral fucked up shit.
Like
So,
All right.
I don't know.
Like,
Some
Tony and I are
whiskey.
I got ideas.
Like, we get that many viewers. I mean, fuck. Let's see how far pineapple goes. I mean, fuck. Who knows?
Whoa!
Oh,
well,
no.
okay. We
Aloha.
also
We're not doing pineapple.
hit on the WHO, and I was waiting for a perfect point to segue in, and I never got when we were talking about the WHO. I really want to know who are you?
I mean,
I was waiting for it, but it never happened. So there, I got it in right there.
Oh, sorry. When we started talking about,
Oh, hang on. What? Wait, hang on. Lindsay just chimed in. She's randomly skimming through the episode on and off watching. And she's like, oh my God, I just watched where you read my text. I wasn't trying to be a bitch. I was just stating what I know since you guys said it wouldn't come into play. And honestly, I have no idea if there are any other facilities and hospitals and such that have it. I'm just stating what I knew. Tell Chicken I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be a bitch.
stop being such a bitch. No. Just
you hanging out with Carol Baskin?
Good luck with that
God
one,
damn,
buddy.
Carol.
Have fun with that
fucking Baskins.
Oh God, I can't go home now.
Good luck.
That's okay.
Yeah,
My wife, during these episodes, my wife sits upstairs and watches chick flicks, and she doesn't watch this like when I'm doing it live. She watches it the next day and then questions me on what I did. So I get like double paranoia. I get a double paranoia because I always get a paranoia of like the wrong person is watching this and he goes, I know that guy. And then I get the other paranoia the next day of my wife's going to watch it. What did I say?
Chicken. I think
It's
you're
terrible.
pretty well on that one not going down. I don't think you got to worry about that.
Nah.
To me, my only concern is some other person that I know that I'm going to interact with in my day to day. Jesus Christ. Wow, Marty, you just found a way to smash all the controversy you possibly could together in one, like you in four fucking together. Bravo, sir. Bravo. Fucking pissed at me with 4 words. Fuck, I'm stealing that, dude. Do you have any idea? Like, you just gave an offend everybody fucking grenade you can drop in a room at any time.
Oh, we know the next drinking game is going to be.
I think that might be the intro to the next.
There you go.
God knows. That'll be great.
Just
All
do
right.
like a little harmony.
All right, fuckers. Let's make our rounds.
Yes.
All right.
Let's wrap this fucker up.
I
2.5
got one
hours
last
in.
drink in me.
I think we had enough. So, what did you learn tonight, and what do you want to see next week? We'll go around the table. I'll start with Phil, but what did you learn, and what do you want to see next week? And then sign off, say goodnight. Well, no, I'm not going to start with Phil. I'll end with Phil because he's got to have his...
He's...
And I don't want to have to call on him twice because then it's the show that was so nice it made him fucking promote it twice. Don't want to have to go that route. So we'll start with Jeremy.
All right.
Jeremy, what did you learn tonight? What do you want to learn next week? And then sign up.
Well, I learned on the oil part of it. You know, I was trying to get into that today. I've been pretty busy today, so I haven't really got to catch up on some of the topics and stuff that, you know, that we're trying to focus on. But mainly, yeah, I learned more, you know, on the oil industries when you're going on to that. And I think I'm going to hit more of that up and just try to exceed more into learning and everything. And next week, I'm curious to see how this whole laboratory made idea, you know, everyone, you know, really thinking more of that this was not naturally made. And I want to go more onto that, and it'll be crazy by next week to see where it is at that point. You know, maybe we'll be proving Phil wrong.
I definitely will be proven Phil wrong. I'm just going to say that now. I appreciate it. Jeremy, thanks
have a good night.
Thanks for joining us, brother. It's always good to have you on here. Tony, same questions. What did you learn tonight? What do you hope to learn next week? What are we going to talk about in the future? What are your thoughts there, sir?
I don't know. You know, I take the lessons that we learn with a grain of salt because it changes on a daily basis, and everything we think we know can be pneumatically proven wrong within 24 hours because we make an assumption and then the next day everything fucking changes. So again, I think that's the biggest thing I've learned overall today is the fact that we're dealing right now in our species history that we're dealing with something we've never had to deal with before. And everybody needs to keep that in mind. Everybody needs to remember, again, as always, to be safe, mind yourself, and of course, mind others. But what I'd like to see next week, I guess, would be how ridiculous people wasted their stimulus check. Of course, drank.
Oh, you bastard.
Not
put a little
just
in that.
not just that, but
Off
I
the
think
bottle.
every week we need to make a point to, if you see some form of data that isn't really being covered by the news or isn't being shared, any intricate pieces of the data that need to be shared and remembered and thought of, let's make it a conscious effort to spread that. And of course, let's make a conscious effort to spread any little bitty tidbits of good news that we can, because right now I think we need everybody a little good news that we can get.
Absolutely. I love that.
Agreed.
Cheers to that. We don't even have to say a naughty word. We can just
Right?
Fair enough. China.
Gentleman's drink. Not many gentlemen's drinks these days. Phil?
Jeremy had himself a stout one.
Yeah. Phil, what'd you learn tonight? What do you want to learn next week? Where are we gonna go with this? And
What I learned tonight is that, as I keep saying, even though we are apart, we're all going through this together, and we're getting through it together in our own way. When we come together at things like this, the COVID Chronicles here at Big Buckin' Entertainment on the Dog and Chicken Show. That's what I've learned this week. What do I want to learn next week is how many more people have joined Big Buckin' Entertainment and the Dog and Chicken Show and the KOE Nation page, which has now debuted. Phil KOE on Facebook. Go check me out. You know you want to. And as I have been hoping this whole time, I hope that everybody gets through it happy, healthy, much the wiser to as much of an extent as we can. Be safe out there, folks. And Tony, Chicken, Jerry, as I'm known to say around here.
Oh, no.
All that being said, folks, this has been the Dog and Chicken Show Extreme Edition COVID Chronicles number 15. Folks, I am a devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, Phil KOE, signing off, handing it off. Folks, stay safe out there. God bless, Godspeed, and check us back here next time. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the flip side, folks.
I do love my brother's comment here. My brother Brant chiming in. I learned no one other than me knows how to flush a toilet. Night fuckers. Fair enough. I love that. That's good. That's good shit.
That's awesome.
So I guess I'll try to get to. I don't really have an epic exit tonight. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate these are humbling. Like the amount of people that come in and then like I get messages afterwards and I get people texting or hitting us up on Messenger and shit like that after we finish these episodes. Love it. Keep it common. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to be on the show. You can share your thoughts without being on the show. You don't have to get on camera. You don't have to fucking do any of that. Fucking hit me up. Big Buckin' Entertainment. You have my Facebook. Most of you guys know who we are. You got the questions. You want us to talk about stuff. Fucking hit us up. Always willing to. Dude, we'll dive into the deep end on a lot of stuff. But
Oh, yeah.
I think the message I would want to. Well, first off, what did I learn tonight? I learned that people are good. We most of us are doing a good job, and there's crazy in the world. And most of you listening to this, most of you live in an area where people aren't being crazy. But crazy's out there. Be prepared for crazy.
Crazy.
The second is make sure you know your constitutional rights. The last thing I would leave you with is a quote from Theodore Roosevelt. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing you can do is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. Do something, people.
Yeah.
Don't sit on your ass. Don't be a slave to society. Don't be a slave to the media. Be paying attention. Know what's going on around you. Know the people that live next to you. Be part of your neighborhood. Be part of the people around you. Create relationships. Have fun. Enjoy life. Appreciate you as always. Everybody at the count of 3, love you. Bye. 1, 2, 3.
Love
Suck
you.
it!
Bye.
Oh, love you. Bye.
All right. Good night, folks. See you next time.